Alright everybody, hello and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, and I'm a D&D6 icon. That much you know, of course. But we're back today doing a couple of hours of Middle-earth prep. It's really hot here in the UK, as I was mentioning beforehand, so it's probably going to be a shorter stream than the ones that you're used to. I've been working pretty hard the past couple of nights and sort of burning the candle on both ends, staying up very late with the Pathfinder event, recording things very early, so it's been all on. But hey, we're going to do some prep before the season starts tomorrow, because season 4 of 2017 on Encounter Roleplay begins tomorrow. But usual stuff, if you enjoy the show, follow, all that good shit. Also, our sponsor for today, and for as recently actually, has been Many-Sided Dice's Lost Artifacts of Greygast. They've just smashed through their goal and then their massive stretch goal on Kickstarter for a whopping $32,000 on Kickstarter, but there's 3 days left, and as a kind of thanks to them for how fun their campaign has been to kind of talk about and sponsor, and how much fun I've enjoyed talking about it, we're running the campaign for the last 3 days, so most of you guys here probably have already backed it because they have hundreds of backers already, but hey, check it out if you haven't. But let's talk about our campaign. Let's talk about the campaign, which is called A Journey Through Middle-earth, and that's what I intend it to be. Basically, I intend it to be a really long-running sort of spanning the breadth of the Tolkien universe that we all know and love so well. Is it popping a bit? I'll just move it away for now. I can't really fucking... Should have done that beforehand. Well, should have done that beforehand. Anyway, it shouldn't be too bad. So, yeah, we wanted to span the world. I've got the map here, of course. Fun interactive map. The game system itself is called Adventures in Middle-earth. As I was mentioning beforehand, it's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition converted. So think about it as a really, really good overhaul / homebrew of 5th edition. So a lot of the classes and concepts are very similar. There are basically rangers who are called wanderers. No, they're called... Oh, fuck, I can't remember. I think it is called wanderers now. Oh, damn it. I'll just go out of game. But basically, there's a ton of sort of conversions from it. So they have fighters, they have barbarians and the like. They just call them different things. And you can play from a group of different... races as well, including the Dunedain, the Bjornings, the Men of Numenor. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. We are doing a custom campaign. I'm actually playing through the module Wilderland Adventures on Arvin Elrond's channel every Tuesday. So that's where you can see us playing through the official one. But I want to try my own campaign because I'm a special little fucking snowflake. So let's see what we have. We did do one session of stuff before. And so we're going to run through the stuff to catch you guys up real quick and to remind you about where we are. But we haven't done too much, so don't worry. So it is 2946, which means that it's 5 years after the desolation of Smaug. Smaug has been defeated at the Battle of Five Armies, and he's basically left these terrible scars across the land of Dale, which is just about here, Esgaroth and the Long Lake. That's where you can find Dale, right next to the Lonely Mountain, which is there, you can see. And of course this is the Mirkwood, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But basically King Bard is king of Dale, and he's like, yo man, we're doing this big celebration. It's 5 years after the Battle of Five Armies. It's very symbolic, but we have lost a lot of our records. A lot of our maps and a lot of our kind of people have been scattered across the land of Dale. We don't even know what our borders are. We don't know if there are enemies within the border, so we need a band of adventurers to go out and find what's going on, basically. And so that's the initial impetus of the quest. The initial impetus is go around Dale and see what is going on. In particular, he wants them to investigate an ancient burial site of his ancestors, which is known as Red Vale. There was a high elf, Taraldar, who was buried there, who once dealt in forbidden magics. And Bard wants them to make sure that the enemy haven't regained a purchase there, because it's possible, with Smaug's desolation, that they haven't been looking around their borders, they've just been looking at the threats from the Lonely Mountains. So they go off, they provision, they go on their journey. Now, a bit of backstory that we wanted to write here. I really wanted to write a kind of elven love story, because in all of the kind of epics and stuff, there's some, you know, elf man sort of thing going on here. And so we wrote one. So it's the Tale of Nestrion and Sigurd. So they call it Red Vial after the maiden Nestrian died there. It's said her blood has eternally stained the leaves of the trees red, and they lie there in her honor. So her story's pretty sad because she was in love with a mortal man of Numenor in ages past, known as Sigurd the Lost. But she was betrothed to this other guy, Taraldar. If you remember back, he was a guy who'd been dabbling in forbidden magic. So he's not a very nice guy. And he would live forever, right? So it's like the Aragorn and Arwen deal there. But Sigurd promised he would kind of prove himself worthy to her father, and so he would journey on a quest to defeat a long-forgotten evil. And so he never returned, owning his name as the Lost. And so she was pretty sad, ended up having to marry this Taraldar guy, and ended up kind of killing herself in a sort of Romeo and Juliet style when she thought he was dead. Now, when they get to the burial site, where all of this happened in aeons past, they're going to find a band of tomb robbers, basically. Now, let's go over to this map here, the tomb that we have created. So it's actually covered in mist right now, but most of the mist is actually in the GM layer. So what the players will be seeing, in fact, I can rejoin as a player. Yeah, I'll do that here. Should be seen a little bit like this. Basically, there are a bunch of tomb robbers who have taken the opportunity to try and get some money from this ancient grave. So they'll be seeing this scene here. The mist actually activates at a later point in time, and this lady, Rycroft, is the leader of the bandits. Now, she has a bit of an interesting story as well, because she is somewhat involved with King Bard, interestingly enough. However, he's had to exile her after she's been apparently falsely accused of a murder. So she's kind of got this band of tomb robbers together, and she's trying to scrape some money together to return to the land of Dale. So there's a bit of a Mexican standoff between the two. And then this chappie here, this guy here, who is perhaps my favorite token on the Roll20 marketplace, I think he might be free even, he is going to crack open his tomb, and Taraldar, the kind of ancient elf dude, is going to pop up. But he's a little bit changed. Remember, he was dealing with forbidden magics? Yeah, that kind of happened. And he's now a wraith. We wanted him to be a barrow wraith, along with a bunch of other people who are buried here as well. Now, if we go back to rejoining as GM, this is the point where we're going to activate. If I just kill it, yeah, I know. I mean, it's entirely possible, right? They compare it to Lara Croft. I didn't see that comparison. As you can see here on a GM layer, there are a bunch of kind of barrow wraiths around in the area, and there's a part you kind of enter in from the east over there. Sorry, west over there. Damn. They will inevitably end up with this kind of sweeping mist. They've even got a camp back here, the kind of Tomb Raiders. And all hell will break loose. Rykoff's going to try and escape, and we'd quite like her to, because we'd quite like her to be a kind of quest-giving NPC from then on. So she's a bit of a sly fox. Not evil, very much an opportunist. And we wanted it to have this kind of special thing that the Wraith would trigger, because one of our PCs is actually related to Sigurd the Lost. So we wanted one of them to have Numenorian blood in their kind of line and actually be related back to Sigurd the Lost. And to have that kind of deal where Aragorn has this thing in Lord of the Rings that I always think is really interesting, that he feels like because his ancestors failed, then so will he. And Sigurd the Lost failed. And so the player character, who has Numenorian blood, will be related to Sigurd and going to have that similar sort of complexity. So Taralala Red shows up. They're going to have to run because there's a bunch of Barrow-rights emerging for the tomb, and the party are level 1 at the beginning of the campaign. Rycroft is going to attempt to escape, or if she's killed or another she doesn't make it out for whatever reason. Yep, there are plenty of alternative successes if they do manage to survive. What's this? Yeah, if they do manage to survive, maybe even defeat the race, it's not an impossible fight. It's just a difficult fight, which I think they might flee from based on knowing their characters a little bit. Then basically the whites will be banished, but they won't be dead. It's similar to like the ring race, right? You can get rid of them, but they're going to turn up again unless you like really put a stop to them. So that's the deal there. So she's going to try and escape, or if they fight their way out, they fight their way out. I think because they're tomb robbers, though, they are most likely to flee. Yeah, you just need some good RNG. Camping right near an ancient tomb. I know these people, man. They're always like, no, just camp near the tomb. What could go wrong? Ancient evil. So anyway, She is going to reveal the true nature of her exile from Dale, this whole murder thing. She had a secret relationship with King Bard, makes her a bit of an interesting character. She suspects foul play. We haven't actually kind of developed that storyline yet, so I'm quite interested in writing a bit more about Rycroft and Bard today. But basically, Tarodar is off. The Whites and his Barrow Wraiths are kind of off, and they are headed somewhere deep into the depths of Mirkwood. And because they're Wraiths, they kind of swoosh away way too quick for the party to really track them particularly well. And so there's a couple of options for them. They could return to Dale. They could return to Dale and kind of seek what is left of the record, see if there's any information on Taroldar and what's going on here. Alternatively, in Rosgabel, Radagast the Brown lives. And if you remember from the movies, he's a cool guy with the fucking rabbit chariot. So they got two choices there, and I mean they can do both as well. The game is all about journeying and exploring and meeting different NPCs and all that stuff. So it's very possible that they both return to Dale and that they journey to meet with Radagast as well. A couple of kind of branching options there. We'll see which ones they actually want to go with. Space goblins. Oh man. Looking at the new Starfinder First Contact creatures. Yeah, I got that for Free RPG Day. It was very cool, very cool. And my enjoyment of Starfinder has been pretty great so far as well. And I'm not a Pathfinder guy usually. Anyway, so they return to Dale. They can look through the ancient kind of records, do the Gandalf thing of going through the scrolls and seeing what's there. There's a rumor going around that will kind of feed to them that among the woodmen of Mirkwood, there's a monster which is stalking the trees and haunting those unlucky enough to venture into its path. Now, out of character, we know this to actually be Gollum. This is the creature Gollum, who is at this point in the story just beginning his search for the One Ring and for Mr. Baggins. So, interestingly enough, that's going on there. We don't expect there to be very much sort of interaction with Gollum in the campaign currently, but we definitely want to kind of give a couple of clues to the players. I mean, my players love the movies, they love the books, so we wanted to give them a couple of kind of hints towards that. What's that, bitch man? How's it going, brother? Secondly, King Bard actually faces some opposition to his rule. So the people are unhappy. The surrounding fertile lands aren't particularly being occupied because they don't know what's in them. They don't know if they're dangerous. And overpopulation in the city is becoming a problem. He's not going to be happy that the party have bad news for him, that they've unleashed some kind of ancient evil. And he's basically going to tell them, well, you guys sort it out. You started this problem. And so his military strength isn't particularly great. I mean, the allied forces of the five armies are, but he's got a lot of things on his plate right now. He's given them access to the annals and its last remaining librarian, Dewey the Wise, his old little wise dwarf with little spectacles, and gives them permission to investigate the spirit. We also wanted to drop a little bit of foreshadowing, and I know this sounds like a lot, actually. The more I read, we actually have quite a lot of the story, but there's only another page or two. Of stuff. And if you have questions, stop me if I'm going too fast. Another little quest, or kind of side quest that may or may not come up, it may just be more of a rumor than an actual quest, is that someone has been hunting the ravens of the Lonely Mountain. The culprit strikes at night and brings down its victims with a stone, but I don't know if it's thrown from a sling or just from hand. The dwarves of Erebor are understandably quite upset about this, and so they're all offering a rich reward to anyone who can find it. Most likely the party don't have time for this. Most likely it's just going to be a kind of foreshadowing thing that they may eventually get to. We put TBD there, but we actually think we know. But the culprits are in fact spiders. Now, giant spiders, the ones that in the Dewey Decimal System, but more like Dewey, like so. But more like the spiders from the Hobbit, let's speak when Bilbo hears them, and they are on the command of a bigger spider. In fact, one of the children of Ungoliant. Now, one of basically a sister of Shelob. For those of you like me, not too brushed up on their Lord of the Rings lore. I've just been doing a little bit more than recent. So, second option. And they're going to find out pretty much same information from Radagast or Dale. If they go to both of them, of course, they'll get more information. So Rosgabel lies at the heart of Mirkwood Forest and to the north of Dol Guldur. Let's find the map. It is about here, I believe. Now, there's a really interesting mechanic in the Middle-earth game. Goblin King wants revenge. That's a cool idea as well, actually. Yeah, we haven't actually had too much luck to Goblin King. I like it. We could definitely get him more involved. Giant sentient spiders. The journey mechanic in this game is really, really interesting. It's similar to my own travel mechanic, a little bit more developed with more tables to roll on. It's quite fun. So Radagast can't really think properly on the matter because he's got his own problem right now. Something's been eating his birds. Now, if you recall, I'm sure the players will recall, hang on a minute, there is a bunch of, yes, the Elves of Mirkwood, that's correct. The dwarves are dealing with something that's eating their birds as well, so they're kind of connecting these things two together. He's going to give them a crystal which will allow them to understand the language of the creatures of the forest. That's our way of getting around that. Well, they don't have the One Ring, how can he understand them? So they're going to venture into the forest, and basically they're going to come across a bunch of giant spiders. A daughter of Ungoliant, her name Cascarel, and she has other sisters across Middle-earth, Diradella and Azarel, apparently. Well, Azarea. Okay, fuck me. Azarea, that makes sense. These are apparently Tolkien names, suggested from the chat, of course. They don't need to fight her, obviously, because they're probably unlikely to actually meet her. They're probably going to meet more of her offspring and kind of overhear some conversations. And cut to spider map. I feel bad for Radagast's birds, I know. There's a lot of bad shit inside it, elves included. Yeah, exactly. So this is our spider map here. And in fact, there are loads more spiders on this map than are currently being shown. There's actually kind of thousands of them in the corners here. Let me show you guys. Like here. So basically, they're all kind of gathered around a sort of altar, a weird, spacey, timey-wimey thing, and these old statues of a long-forgotten kingdom of Numenor. So, or maybe an elven kingdom, more likely, right? It's Mirkwood after all. Let's move the players back over there. So that is our spider encounter, maybe. More likely, could do a lot of the ambiance. Pretty creepy looking. Yeah, if you don't like spiders, it's not a good time. So, they're going to kind of find out about that. Maybe we can involve the Goblin King in that somehow as well. And then they've got a couple of options, I guess, when Radagast now tells them the full story of Taraldar and Nestrian about the kind of death, the forbidden magics, the Wraith stuff. He suspects that Taraldar will go to Dol Guldur and marshal his forces, which is there. That is where Dol Guldur is. So, quite southwesterly of Esgaroth and Erebor. So there's an option they have that might be appealing to one of the players that has Numenor in blood. Said that legend Sigurd the Lost Sword would be powerful enough to destroy Taraldar, though he's likely lost, for he ventured far into the west to fight an ancient evil and was lost. Radagast suspects he knows the location of Sigurd's death and can point him in the right direction if they so desire. Secondly, they can return to Dale again with a letter from Radagast warning of the coming evil. With a wizard backing them, King Bard has no option but to act and hopefully gains back allies amongst the dwarves and elves. And then the third option is to go directly to Dol Guldur to scout it out, which would, probably be a dangerous option because there are going to be droves of orcs and all manner of other beasts heading to the ancient citadel to amass a kind of army, I guess. And Taraldar wants to just fucking get powerful and probably try and reclaim his lost wife. What's up, Yami? How's it going? These spells are mostly sent to kill lots of my characters. I'm afraid not. We don't have hobgoblins by entering the caves, starting a giant fire and causing the explosion to collapse anyway in out. Yes. These spells in Adventures in Middle-earth, I haven't taken a great look at, but I know they are very different. Magic in general is different in the game. It's not necessarily that kind of overt magic that you see in a sort of high fantasy setting of Dungeons and Dragons. It's more so a kind of enigmatic magic, the kind of magic that all hobbits can sort of go unseen a little bit. They can travel through the forest quite unseen. The same magic that kind of keeps the elves alive for ages, and kind of little hints that happen that seem magical, but aren't necessarily I cast fireball. Although that is in the game too. However, that's a lot more optional and very difficult for the players to get to. That would be kind of like end game where you actually cast a Gandalf style spell, because in the kind of fiction, that stuff is like the most godly of powers. Like, there are only 5 wizards that are like true wizards in all of the universe, I believe. There's probably more in a fucking Silmarillion. But there you go. No giant fire tornadoes, I know. So in a way, it's low magic. But in another way, it's not. You know, it's everyone almost has a bit of magic. You know, how's it going, Whiskey? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, much more subtle, I think. Yeah, much more subtle. So that's where we kind of have things. That's where we have things currently. Now, I did want to develop on a couple of points. I think the first point for us to develop on is basically where we've run out of material, is the kind of options, the branching options that the party might take. Now, of course, we can't really guarantee that they're going to do anything in any particular order, but we can guarantee that at some point it needs to happen that they go on a quest to find a sword, right? So it doesn't have to be the first thing they do, but eventually during this tale, it seems likely that they've got to go get a cool magic sword. After all, it's a Tolkien tale. So, Sigurd the Lost, he went somewhere into the west. Into the what can you see? So somewhere from the west, and we know that he was in Mirkwood, based in Mirkwood at his time. Somewhere far to the west that he travelled to defeat an unknown ancient evil. So we need to think of a couple of things. First of all, what was that ancient evil? Secondly, is it still alive now because Sigurd died? And thirdly, where the hell is it? So it's likely that Radagast will know this information. Radagast can give them that information. So if we decide that it is in the Shire, for instance, unlikely, very unlikely, but we could go through the Shire in Hobbiton, of course, then Radagast will be able to tell them about the legend there. Erid Luin. Now, that's an area I don't really know much about. I don't know much about many of the areas, to be fair, in this campaign, other than... Oh, what about here? Here, the Lost Realm of Arnor, Cairn Doom. Here was of old the Witch Realm of Angmar. Now, he could have gone up there, or to the Etenmoors to defeat an evil, I think. Not the Balrog, probably not. You know, probably not. I think generally avoiding, like, things which happen directly in the movies is probably a good idea. Feeble line that the Whites say when they first appear real quick. Oh, yeah. Let me see. He says... I think there's a little poem we have for this. The presence of the lost spirit waketh me to wrath. So basically that's talking about Sigurd's blood running through one of the PC's veins. He's kind of triggered. He's triggered by that. I'm thinking that could be a good area. Thanks, man. Witch King's having a nap during this time, I believe. Yes. How about a corrupted end as blighting the land? Ooh. They say, Robar! Robar! Yes, if you don't follow the campaign on Arvin's channel, we have our first, like, real episode happening this Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm playing a character called Robar Staunton, who is a Dunedain ranger. He's a bit like Liam Neeson, but not quite the same gravel. But yeah, time to rough, boys. Exactly. Oh, I changed the command. That's why I changed it to be easier for myself, so I don't have to write shout out to just SO. Ironically, it made me forget. So yeah, I like the idea of Cairn Doom. Heroes of old, the witch realm of Angmar. Maybe he went to defeat an ancient spirit. I like the idea of a corrupted Ent as well, actually. Although I guess with Ents, that could be Fangorn, I suppose, couldn't it? I've got the choice between going to Fangorn and some kind of corrupted Ent has been blighting the land, or we go all the way up to Angmar, basically, and we do the Shadows of Mordor type deal up there, which could actually be really cool, because that game was pretty sick. What are you guys thinking here? He does have a particular set of skills that I do this for a job. I will find you, and I will kill you. To a certain kind of people, exactly. So I'm really excited for that campaign as well. Actually, I've just seen Tarry Toons' drawings of them as well. The first, the second, the third, the fourth. It is 5 years after Smaug. It is the year 2946 of the Third Age. The Second Age, much like the Third Age. Except the weather definitely used to be better in the Second Age. I'm thinking Angmar. I'm feeling Angmar personally, guys. Angmar's a kind of dope place to go, I imagine. And the players might be familiar with that area as well as just here is Angmar. And there's a mountain range called the Hefeilge? Hefeiglir. And the Etamors sound like a cool place to go for as well. I remember like Gandalf having a story about that, I think. Could be a side quest. Hey, Muse, how's it going? But I feel like there's less potential. Okay, Corrupt could be a side quest for an item or something. I like it. We could have a, yeah, because they might travel through, I guess there's several ways they can do it. And honestly, the cool thing about this campaign is you get to see so much of the world. And same cool part about the game, really, is that you're going to do lots of travel, and one of the party members is kind of like the guide in the journey, so they get to decide the route which they're taking. So they could, come up here and try and pass through. Looks like there's a mountain pass there. I'm happy to make stuff up as well. Or they could go through the kind of Lorien Moria angle and then up through that. But yeah, let's call it Angmar, and we'll kind of plot out a couple of routes. At point in time, the evil could also still be tied to the impending rising of the necromancers who's still unnamed at that point. Cool. I'm good, Muse, I'm good. The entrance is a corrupted blade from some evil entity that they purify and save the end. Ooh. I like the idea of saving the end. Okay, so Sigurd travelled to Angmar, where it is likely he met his fate. It is said that his sword still lies there, and must be retrieved to defeat our good old friend Taraldar. Welcome to the fellowship, Mr. Grey Wolf. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Okay. Aren't you supposed to blow the bloody doors off? Yeah, the latter portion of the Third Age. I think it's 2946, I believe, is the year. Must be retrieved to defeat Taraldar. Now we've got a whole journey to plan if they take that one, but let's leave that at that for now. Option 2, they can return to Dale. I have a letter from Radagast. What we could do there is a kind of Rivendell. Oh God, what do they call it? Moot? Is it the moot? No. No. Council of Rivendell style scene where the party must convince the allies of Dale to join forces against their number. Now, either way, they're probably going to have to do this. They kind of get to choose which order they do it in, so they could be like, we want to go get the sword first of all, then come back and do this meeting with people. Or they could be like, let's get this meeting out of the way quickly, now we'll go get the sword. And then thirdly, go and scout out Dol Guldur. So I think there'll be a lot of options for the players in terms of where and when they want to go do things and go places. Join forces against their number. They may then choose to either scout Dol, it's like ticking off the quest, or retrieve the sword from Angmar. I bet there's a really cool amount of backstory and what goes on in Angmar as well. I'd love to read into it a bit more tonight. Okay, option 3, scout out Dol Guldur. And now that could be a pretty interesting option as well. One does not simply walk into Dol Guldur, indeed. Oh man, the memes. The memes! I've spent like, the past couple of days, I spent like a good hour or two looking at just Jedi things, Star Wars memes. It's a condition. an army is stirring, so they will need to mount an expedition to the ancient citadel. And if they have the... oh yeah, if they have the allies on their side already, they can provide them with extra assistance. If not, they'll have to go on their own. Okay. So those are the kind of 3 main quests I wanted to have ready for the first week at the very least. How's it going, Ben? Exactly. By a task to prove their worth. Now, that could be an interesting thing to do, actually. Yeah, having the sword. Yeah, having the sword of Sigurd or first-hand accounts of sightings at Dol Guldur would be incredibly useful in assisting the party in their argument. Because what I'm thinking is, I mean, if you're like, look, bro, I saw it, and maybe they have a witness as well, or look, I've got this ancient fucking sword, then that's a lot more convincing than, I'm pretty sure there's a guy back there, and he's got some bad stuff going on. Been loving Conspiracy Kalen. I don't know what that is. And that's how the Corrupted End comes into play. No, that could be another quest to prove their worth. A chance for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to prove his worth. The level is a... God, that's a really fucking good question. I tend to level people up after the first session to level 2. Almost always. Let's call them level 3 by this point. Let's call them level 3. I mentioned in the... let me find a handout I gave to the players, which I'm pretty sure I saved, because I remember to do these things right well, yeah. Oh, maybe I didn't. Bollocks to it. It said that we're starting at level 1, but expect to advance in level fairly quickly at first, and then kind of slow out. I tend to do that in the campaigns. I don't know where I... What's in his pockets? Well, that's my visa stuff. Anyway, first-hand knowledge Dol Guldur is going to be rough. Let's place Gandalf belly side. Exactly, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's going to be a certain order in which they can do it to... Well, because if they have the sword at first, you know, that's going to help them in... It's kind of like a... It's like a sprawling diagram, isn't it? Like, if they go to get the sword first of all, they've got a tough journey ahead and they have to face through Angmar. But they can get the sword, which is going to be obviously super powerful against wraiths and creatures of evil. That makes the Dol Guldur scouting easier. However, if they have the sword, they can go to the council and get assistance in that from the council of different allies and then help in their scouting mission. So that makes that easier. So that's probably the best way to do it. Depends on what options they want to take, I guess. Okay. A colony of survivors who fled Dol Guldur's dungeon exists hidden nearby and can serve as useful but potentially savage and treacherous allies. Yes, it is. 5 years after Smaug gets killed, right in the middle. Exactly, yeah. Okay, don't spoil me, Arvin. I can't wait to be doing scouting. That's like my favorite, that's gonna be my favorite fucking thing about, playing a Dunedain Ranger, is just, scouting out. Me and Tarry, hand in hand. I like the idea. I'm gonna put it in my ideas place, which is at the bottom. I get to go on top. So, Rakam has sent me a link, and he says, give it a listen, see if this fits. Sound for ERP is called, and it says test. Okay, this is exciting, isn't it? That's what he's got. That is cool. Do you want that louder? Let me show you that louder, guys. Rakam's made this, fuck.
The presence of the lost spirit waketh me to wrath.
Fuck, man. How did you do that? That was he was 20 seconds. Boom. That's fucking cool, man. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I love that. Fuck, that's nice. Wow, shout out to Rakam. That was sick. Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I've sent them a full PDF of my dossier. I get really carried away sometimes with prep work. I wish I could show it to you guys. I will go into my place where I sent it to them. Oh, I've got a fucking Google Drive list. Of course I do. That's why I give you all my notes. God, I'm tired. Let me show you. This is one of one of 3 that I have sent to the party at the moment. This is the initial one that you might have seen on Twitter, which is basically information about the campaign. But yeah, I've given them 2, one on the world and one on the kind of feel of the campaign, which is, yeah, you're probably going to die. Although my players know that about me, that I am pretty ruthless in how grimdark things get. But hey, oh, I know. Roughing sounds so metal. Man, I want to rough. Rough on, man. All right, here we go. So it said it sort of lies here. It must be retrieved to defeat Taraldar. I was talking about something else, and then we got carried away with all the other memes, I think. So they've got 3 options to take. They can do in whatever order they deem fit, and we'll expand upon those in a bit as well. However, I do want to go back. One of the interesting things I've found about this is Rycroft's character, assuming she's alive, to be fair. We could be writing stuff for an NPC that ends up being dead, but that tends to be the case with pretty much any campaign. You just kind of hope that they live. Rycroft was exiled from Dale and cannot enter into the city upon pain of death. You have no authority here. Oh, but I do. He signed it this morning. Anyway, I cannot enter into the city upon pain of death. Okay. Rip Rycroft. I've accidentally almost gone to 10 out. Oh, man, me too. Let's work, man. Rip Rycroft already. I see it now. I write this super sick backstory for her. I write this plot arc, and then they're like, "Oh, I killed a bandit." Oh, fuck, damn. Anyway, can I enter the city upon pain of death? The party can explore the nature of her exile whilst within Dale. However. So I want to learn. She was definitely set up. Yeah. Pain of facial dick tattoos. Long round nat 20s incoming. Oh man, that's not my catchphrase. How do you kill it? I believe she actually killed the person. All right, let's leave it up to. How about we don't know? Yeah. How about we don't know yet? However, I want to know exactly what happened. So, Rycroft's killing, we'll call it, or Rycroft's case. So, a few months ago, so here's the relationship. Here's the backstory we got here. Rycroft she's a girl, and she's a bit of a kind of roguish sort of lass, bit of a scout, most likely, served in the Battle of 5 Armies, and she's actually got a thing going on with King Bard behind the scenes. However, no one yet knows about it, and no ready to kind of talk about it yet. And maybe it wouldn't be kind of approved of, I don't know. But they're keeping their relationship secret for now. But then something happened which forced King Bard to exile her. Bard probably should have killed her in terms of rule, law, but he was kind of kind on her and just exiled her. So a few months ago, someone died. It must have been someone important. Else people wouldn't get so upset about it. Maybe it's someone even important to King Bard as well. What if it's I don't know, I was going to say ex-wife. It could be just an important individual from the kind of the Battle of 5 Armies. It could be an important merchant, or maybe just a noble, a nobleman's son, an advisor. One of the dwarves that set them free from Smaug. Ooh, yeah, that could have potentially dangerous diplomatic effects as well for the dwarves of Erebor. So I like that idea that it might be a dwarf, who maybe distinguished himself in the Battle of 5 Armies, was killed, and my boy Bomber. Oh no, we can't kill Bomber. We can't rip Bomber. In the Battle of 5 Armies was killed. Rycroft, maybe she was found with the weapon in her possession hours later, after they suspected her due to an argument with this dwarf who we need to name with the dwarf hours prior. Maybe she'd been arguing about something, you know, wouldn't actually end up making you kill someone, but there you go. He was a diplomat to Dale too. I like it. Caught in a threesome with Bard and Dwarf. Oof. Ale fiend. That would be fiendish indeed. You'd always go a bit. Yeah, fuck him. Fuck him. Hey Tom, what's up? What's up, Jen? Okay. Expected due to an argument with dwarf hours prior. He was a diplomat from Erebor, so his death could have far-reaching consequences. No one likes you when diplomats die. Rycroft found a weapon in possession hours later after they suspected her due to an argument with the dwarf hours prior. That sentence is probably terrible, but there you go. Yeah, no, I'm thinking of a just a dwarf bro, you know, just a bro. Expected to do an argument with the dwarf hours prior. She swears the blade was not hers. That was in her house, covered in blood. Rycroft claims she argued with the dwarf over something. Over something. It was on a security detail. It could be set up from someone on the Bard side who's using Rycroft as a patsy because the fear of her because she was an easy target. It could be Rycroft. I like that idea. They see Rycroft getting close to Bard, having Bard's ear, and they require his kind of, her sort of removal. Yeah. Something. Figure that out. She may have been set up by Bard's close advisor, such and such, X again, who feared how close Rycroft was growing to Bard and grew jealous. Yeah, okay. Billy, Bwadim. Billy! Oh! It's me, Billy Connolly! Oh, I can't believe I've been murdered. Oh no, murdered. Okay, grew jealous. Yeah, we need a. Is there a dwarven name generator for Lord of the Rings style dwarves? I hope there is. I like Billy, but it would be too like Billy Connolly. Birry could be good. Birry. Now it sounds like Billy, but with a lisp. Now I see it. Okay. The party can investigate Rycroft's theory if they so choose, allowing her to come back to her rightful position. Rightful status, I guess, as a citizen of Dale. Because, trust me, I know all too well. Billy, don't you lose our number! Paradin, I like it. Okay. Parodin's a name. Paradin's a game. Okay, Baraduin. Oh, that looks quite good there, doesn't it? Did you mean Baraduin? Why, yes, good sir. I didn't. Okay, I don't know if you can even see that because it's like a pop-up, but it suggested to me Baraduin. Bardwin. Anyway, we need a name for the advisor. Male or female advisor? Yeah, she's like Cassio from a fellow. Which means we could have a fellow. Shit. Norim, Druni, Noron, Rimundi. So it's Bardwin, son of Badoi. Badoi. Well, maybe not bard, because that's too many bards now, isn't it? Norim, son of Nora. Son of Noron. Noron, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, enough inane Billy Connolly noise as well, please. Bedouin. He's a Bedouin. What of the Bedouin? I'm a Bedouin monk. No, okay, shut up. Well, okay. Noron, more like moron. Am I right? Am I right? Okay. What about advisor's name? What's up, fuckboy? Billy has to be in every single adventure. He's a cow level of D&D. It's true. A worm-tongue type mage. I definitely like the idea of a worm-tongue type figure. Let's see. What names have we got for a kind of worm-tonguey type guy? Grima. I mean, that just speaks of kind of grime and grossness, doesn't it? Grima Worm-tongue. Yeah. Thanks, Muse. Yeah, we if you don't catch it, it's Mondays 4 p.m. Eastern is when the show will be showing. The show will be showing. Fuck me. Super Weasley. Yeah. He's a the advisor. Oops. Or okay. Let's go for some Sliffer. Oh, sounds like a snake. Grumbar, son of Grumble. They call me Tim. Actually, no, a really Weasley-looking guy called Tim. I was going to say, okay, so alternative, what about jealous lover? Or jealous ex-lover? Or jealous wannabe lover? Female of Bard. Or male. Yeah. So, just call him Brian. You could go for a sort of a love triangle. What if the advisor actually isn't evil, but everything he does sounds evil? I know that's my problem with voicing. That's my problem with voicing like evil characters who you don't want to like show off as evil. You want to give them a kind of evil voice, but it's kind of obvious when you've got such an evil voice that you're evil. It's like if I were an evil person, you know, trying to masquerade in a role, I would probably sound incredibly lovely all the time and try and be really nice. Not talk like this all the time, great my worm tongue. Slurgall, a sycophant. I love it. I like the jealous ex-lover. Okay, so, and grew jealous. She secretly lusts for Bard and his power. Okay, the advisor is it could be a Weasley girl. I mean, you get Weasley girls too. Female wizard's trying to charm Bard over and see a Riker of Truto. Delilah. In no way is my voice suspicious. Yes, every video game character ever. Okay, yeah, okay, so the advisor is a Weasley lady named something, who is using Roycroft to get closer to Bard. We need a name. Kind of Weasley lady. Kind of Weasley names we got here. We are equal opportunity weasels. Yes, we are. Although we're anti-fox hunting, so there's that. Do they use weasels for that, or do they use something else? I don't know. Ferrets. They use ferrets for that. They're a different thing. What's the difference between a ferret and a wasp? Not a wasp. That's pretty obvious. A weasel. What's a wasp? There are difference between feelings and emotions. Difference between ferret and weasel. Ferrets, stoats, and weasels all belong to the same mustelid family. Is a ferret the same as a weasel? The ferret is a domesticated form. Same genus as the weasel. Okay. Now we know. Ferrets can be pets? Yeah, I think so. Bit vicious. If you haven't seen it, okay.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
This world is imperfect.
What?
If only I could wipe away the impurities.
Is anybody else listening to
And
this?
make it as beautiful as me.
True. Salmonella, chlamydia. What's up, down low? How's it going, brother? Okay. What's an evil name? First, gonna be pesting a wrecking house. Yeah. Okay. Named chlamydia. Samara. Samara's a nice name. Actually, no. I used to know a girl called Samara. She was a real overachiever, and I always kind of hated it for it. She was one of those sort of girls in school, and this is in high school, so going back at least 10 minutes. And she was, one of those girls that's kind of like, sort of like, oh, I do everything. Can we have homework, please, miss? And it's like, fuck off. But perfect. Dorcas. Morgan. Gertrude Legata. I don't know, is Samara a character in middle left? Okay, Dorcas. I like Dorcas and Morgan. I'm thinking Morgan now too. Samara Morgan. It's because Morgana, I think. Oh man, can we go back real quick to did you guys watch Merlin, the BBC series? Because I remember. Let's see. It was awful. It was pretty like the best show ever, but it was terrible. That's what I'm talking about. She's pretty badass. And the intro was like Merlin with John Hurt. It was fantastic. Dragon Age Origins. Oh yeah, Morgana in Dragon Age Origins. She's a similar looking character, actually, isn't she? Yeah, pretty cool character in Dragon Age as well. I haven't yet played Inquisition, but hey. The old, oh my god, the series of Sam Neill is like my childhood. I remember how I have, there's a VHS of it. This is how old it is. We had a VHS of it because we recorded it when it was on like Channel 4 on the TV when we were kids. And I think there's 3 parts to it. No, there might be 2 parts to it, actually, because I think I have it on DVD now. And it was fantastic. It was like him growing up from Merlin, and he falls in love with Nimue, and she was French and kind of weird and stuck in a tree at one point. And then he had to get her out. Anyway, we were doing prep, and then I get carried away with fucking side stories. Not on your side, but not on your side character, yeah. You call it Evil Advisor Sydney. Man, we should have like a movie night where we watch the that on rab.id or whatever it is. All-star cast. The graphics haven't aged well, but it was pretty damn good. And the elf Flick? No, what was his name? It was something like that. He was a good character. Anyway, I will continue. Apologies. So, who's using Rorikov to get closer to Bard? They will have a tough time finding evidence. But there are some angles they can look into. And I don't think I'm going to fill these out too much. Anything more than Morgan bribed the gods. Coin loosens many tongues. Trust me, I worked. You don't work in live Jasmine as long as I am. I have without knowing that. Tripper. Yeah, Merlin was really fucking cool. He was very much more like a Gandalf figure in that. Frick, and he had the. Oh man, we gotta watch that now. Fuck, such a good show. How can I say I'm a Dragon Age fan? Her name is Morrigan, not Morgana. Yeah. I remember that was one of the games that I really, really loved. I love Rutger Hauer, I know. Yeah, he played the king, who died in that, I think. He was a good character. Morgan Brother Guard, Coin Loosens Many Tongues, an eyewitness saw her at the scene of the crime, but is too afraid to speak out. What other angles could we have? Free. Bard has grown a little suspicious. Morgan, who seems to want more and more control over his decisions. That could be something that they look into. They could break into her house to find evidence. She's got receipts, girl. She's got receipts. Yes, yes. VHS night. Oh man, I did say we should like rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it's a long couple of movies to sit through. Did Morgan kill a dwarf? Would someone else do it? I think it's a good question. I don't even know if she would do it herself, if she would pay someone else to do it. I know she's paid the guards to look the other way, so maybe she did do it herself, or maybe you're right. Maybe she saw the body and thinks, "Oh, I can frame Rycroft for this." Oh, I'm yet to decide on that one. I think I may decide based on how the scenes go. Same they ever made that one Dragon Age game. They made that one good Dragon Age game. I feel you. Although I hear good things about Inquisition. Although I don't know. If you had no steal a murder by capitalizing on the opportunity. So maybe, okay, in the event, Morgan herself didn't commit the crime. Maybe we could link the Goblin King back into this. Yeah, maybe it was a... Do you get, like, goblin assassins and stuff like that? What I'm thinking is, I think it would be juicy if she is involved somehow. Maybe she didn't actually do it herself. Maybe investigating the body reveals some clues. This is turning out to be a whole murder mystery now. And, oh man, this just makes me want to write Call of Cthulhu murder mystery Eldritch horror pieces again, because I love it. Maybe something sabotage a dwarf's location of work, loosen Sagan's forged accident at work, but discovered to be a sabotage. Ooh. Okay, investigating body reveals that maybe several blades were responsible for his death. Yeah. Rather than just one knife, for instance. And then, what about we link it back to this Goblin King? She watched it happen and did... Oh, yeah! Murder on the Orient Express D&D style. Yeah. I mean, I basically am doing that, right? Because we have the Horror on the Orient Express, which is now every Wednesdays. At 1 p.m. that we're continuing on Horror on the Orient Express, but it would be cool. I do like writing murder mysteries for some reason. I've always quite enjoyed doing that. Okay. So she watched it and did nothing while, what's his name? Norim, son of Noron. Yeah, what about Noran? So it looks like moron. Well, Norim was butchered by a kill team of goblins sent from the mountains of Misty Mountains, right? Far over the Misty Mountain. That works. That works for me. And then this links back to the Goblin King having his kind of fingers in a couple of pies. Maybe it's a message after they disappeared. Because goblins are stealthy little buggers, aren't they? Because you'll lose the face of people find out the goblin made it into the city. I like it a lot, Pandora's. How's it going, Gianni? Good to see you. Good to see you. Did goblins... See, this is a question I'm thinking now as well. Is that too D&D-ish? Because I don't want to stick 100% to the lore, but I do want to stick to, the feel of it. Is it sort of ridiculous that goblins would do that in this world? Because I do tend to be kind of dumb, but then they are quite cunning, aren't they? Kind of stealthy. as well. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch. I'm happy with little stretches. After they disappeared, Morgan framed. What's her name? Packing stuff. Felt leadership. So maybe they have a leader in the area. They're brilliant leaders and stuff. Yeah. So maybe they do have a leader in the area, which could be another quest, you know. More back, stabby, than Urukai, that's for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Brilliant also being relative. Yes, I see. I hear. Okay. What if they have a base of operations in the area that they've set up somewhere in Mirkwood, and that could lead us back to that? So maybe they haven't even traveled as far as the Misty Mountains. From X's camp within Mirkwood Forest. Okay, let's link it all back. They've got an alliance with the giant spider daughter of Anguliant. X has alliance with the spider network of Kazakarel. Yes. And is using Mirkwood to launch raids on the Men of Dale. This makes more sense to me, I think. X gonna give it to you. Yeah, okay. After his beard, Morgan framed Rycroft and went to the captain of the guard, who we also need to name. I like that he's kind of in on it a little bit. Of the guard, explaining that for goblins to be murdering within his streets, unchecked, unchallenged, killing at will. Goblins bearing the big purple dong of will. Giant spider's tricking me. Yeah, me too. Just make his name X. Professor X. That's why I'm wearing this, Charles. Yes. Any excuse for Magneto. Yes, a little. There's like giant spiders. Tick in Arvin's box. That includes you reading this message. Yes, you. How's it going, Ben and Sis? Someone tweeted at me today. Let me find it. It was his name is Kira. I don't know if you're watching now, Kira, or if you're just a YouTube watcher or maybe a lurker. I said I'm going to do a short stream today because the heat is killing me. Actually, the heat is a little better right now. She says, wear some pasties and you can go topless to stretch your endurance, winky face. No, I'm not making excuses for trying to get you on stream naked. So, I mean, I just try and make sure my live Jasmine career and my Twitch career are two separate entities. Sometimes the lines blur. It's a tough life. So, explain the goblins of murdering the streets unchecked, unchallenged. Murdering as they go. Let's just put this in brackets. Would reflect horribly upon him. He has agreed to silence on the matter and to turn to look the other way. Yeah, I like it. The corrupt man is so corrupt. For our chat, John's live Jason furiously searching. I'm sure, I'm sure someone has once Googled. You know, it's weird, isn't it, being still on the internet and thinking someone's probably Googled if there's actually a live Jasmine stream of me or not. And of course, no one's found it yet. So let's look here. He's agreed to start the battle and look the other way. Uncovering the mystery will allow Rycroft back into Bard's, into Dale, and take a position as Bard's lover. Oh dear. Oh dear. I was rather wondering if you could let me back into your King Dale, if that's okay. People tell me I look and sound like Hugh Grant, and I suppose I probably do a little bit to Americans. Take a position as Bard's lover and chief advisor. Hopefully she's not a Gavin Barlow. Bard's lover and chief advisor. This will mean that the party have a good friend in an important seat of power for future use. Oh, and let's put that as an option down here. Option 4. Clear Rycroft's name. Put her back into power. For Rycroft. Yeah, in fact, let's go back up here. Let's have like side notes here. Boop. And then boop. If Rycroft is Bard's advisor, she will make things easier for the party. So she'll have some sway, you know. Guess I should make sure to see you guys towards a queue into Spider Quest. Yes, please do. I'm looking forward to that. If they kill Rycroft, will that make Morgan chief advisor? Yeah, pretty much. And that could have consequences as well. We may, because we've written stuff, and this is something that I sometimes end up doing, is if the NPC dies, and it's really up to kind of like much portrayal of the NPC, I suppose. If the NPC does die, then we may just kind of replace her, same role, different name, slightly different story, etc. Because of course, by the time she's dead, they won't actually know any of that stuff. So you know. I'm diving deeper into the mechanics of diversity among D&D group interactions. Makes finding the right group feel like winning the lottery. Yeah, yeah, sometimes it is a bit of a lottery, I suppose. But sometimes it's hit and miss. Anyway, let's see what else we wanted to write on this fine, merry old day. Also, guys, I've been, I was showing you guys earlier, the first sort of couple of drafts of the Kickstarter are coming along quite nicely. I've been doing that the past couple of days, and other prep writing that I've been doing, a little bit of formatting as well. Let's show you guys here real quick. I showed you this before the stream, but more people are here now. This is the first sample chapter, I mean, a couple of pages from Breath of Gora Kickstarter module coming to Kickstarter on June 26th. If you haven't signed up for my Finder Club, cheeky little plug here for myself. Please do so. Please do so. Rycroft sounds so much like Mycroft, constantly giving me a Sherlock feeling. I said that actually when we first came up with the name last session. I was like, it sounds really like Mycroft. We could do a Sherlock Holmesy thing with this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so those are our 4 options. Let's go further into our kind of travel to Angmar angle, I think. I think our travel to Angmar angle is probably a likely one that I'll end up taking at first here, and we could do some little cheeky maps as well, because they got a whole like journey mechanic, which is super cool. I want to look into that more before our session tomorrow. Although to be fair, we probably won't get too much to that session. In fact, let's think about not what is there, because the mechanic basically covers that for us in their journey through these areas up to Angmar. But let's think about what is actually there in Angmar when they arrive. Oh yeah, I should do that. I should do that. I should plug myself in. Yeah, let's talk about Angmar. Yeah, thanks, Spike. I'm super excited for it, man. Super excited. Almost a week tomorrow, and we need a couple more people to sign up to the Thunder Clap. So, pretty exciting stuff. All right, so let's go away from our options here, and these are our ideas. Let's put that in ideas. Put it in its own little bracket there. Let's call this ideas what we had, and we may or may not use them. So, journey to Angmar. Journey mechanic. To the travel to Angmar. Now let's see if there's any important locations along the way. I mean, actually depends on where they go, so I guess I'll make that up the session before they go into it in terms of prep work. Once they arrive, they find themselves in the bleak and brutal land of Angmar. Let's search up Lord of the Rings Angmar wiki. Let's see what else we got on it. One ring to rule them all, motherfucker. The set 5 years after the Battle of Five Armies, in between the movies. The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. History. Long before the Witch King came to Angmar, the dwarves had many flourishing mines in the region. The halls were secure and prosperous. It was not long, however, before Durin's folk felt the assaults of Angmar. The first assaults. The dwarves fled south, seeking the safety of their mines in Weather Hills. The Witch King arose in Angmar during the realm of Malgville of Affedane, sometime between... way before where we are. Okay. Ruadar was forced to invade Affedane. Many were slaughtered, and their king, Argileb I, was slain. However, they managed to defend it. Wow, this is a long history. Okay. The armies of Angmar repelled from Fornos and North Downs and forced to draw to Angmar. The Shadow of the North was contained for a time. After a great plague which started east of Mordor in 1636, the last of Cardolan's people died, allowing Angmar to settle the Barrow-wites into the Downs. And we're in 2964 or 46, so actually quite a long time before that. The Battle of Five Armies. It stated that Sauron's final goal was to restore Angmar and gain dominance over the North and Middle-earth by conquering the Lonely Mountain due to its strategic position. Okay. Okay. This is all quite interesting stuff. And they have portrayals of it in The Lord of the Rings Online. Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2 was such a sick game. It's a realm founded by the Lord of the Nazgûl, is later known as the Witch King of Angmar. It's located in the northern folk of the Western Mist Mountains, sole purpose of weakening the north of Arnor. It's cold weather, mostly snowing. Now, I didn't know that about Angmar. I didn't know that it snowed a lot. I believe it's 1 year until Gollum leaves his cave. I followed the timeline on the in the Player's Guide, the Lore Master's Guide, and I think Gollum heads off a year after. I think it's 47. I don't fucking know. Again, we're being a little bit lenient with timelines. It is cold and snowy in the reaches of Angmar. And the party seek the sword of Sigurd, the Lost. Finding it won't be easy. They may need a guide. Aside from their guide in the actual game, I suppose. So, let's go look back on our map and just see, get a look. We've got a lot of mountains, meant to be snowy up there. We're looking very north here. The mountains of Angmar. Now, is it in some cave where he went to fight this ancient evil? We in fact need to decide on what the ancient evil was. And it's most likely still there, right? So, Sigurd journeyed... Oh, we could do a Moria type scene. We could go deep into the mountains of Angmar in search of the... Now, we need to decide on what our ancient evil is. Something that is around there. We could be a wraith. It could be a wraith. Or a wight. It could be a kind of Nazgûl type deal. Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever it said in the Lore Master's Guide, basically. So not a Balrog. Balrog might be a little bit tough for them. But something certainly quite eternal is what I'm thinking. A wraith could be a good option. Although I don't necessarily want to overuse the whole wraith deal, because we want some representation, but we don't want to flood it. We don't want to wraith wash the story. Is Legolas a class or race? Legolas is an alignment, actually. It's a way of life. It You really, you can't choose the Legolas life. The Legolas life really has to choose you. They got Chasm to rival Mount Doom. Very good, or smithing powerful objects. Ooh. Okay, someone dug up some kind of chasm within, and it woke something up. Legolas just a cheap rip-off of Driss. I mean, come on. Let's be real. Let's be real. Legolas really is. It's an ideology. It's it's a movement of the great people of England. So anyway, search of this evil. It is said that an ancient chasm. Oh, maybe I mean, we could do maybe a Watcher in the water. They're always guarding mines. That could be cool. Yeah, Watcher in the water. I'd want to know more about that actual Tolkien lore, because all I know about that is Legolas and the Hobbit is probably the best bit of acting, writing, CGI ever. I really thought he looked really goofy in the Hobbit, to be fair. I couldn't quite take him seriously, because it was like, we know you've aged, Orlando. We know. It's okay. I like it. It was said that an ancient chasm was uncovered by... I mean, good to go to dwarves. The dwarves of aeons past. But when the Lord of the Nazgul attacked Angmar, dwarves fled, leaving behind the ancient, forgotten evil. Let's see. So I got orcs and trolls down there. You can use deep speech to break the players out. Ooh. Let me play this. It's pretty cool. Yeah, okay, we could use that. Ancient Forgotten Evil. Sigurd made it down to the mines. They call it a mine. A mine. This is no mine. It's a bit American, Boromir, isn't it? Bit of an American Sean Bean. Hey up. Hey up, lad. Winter is coming. Made it down to the mines. This Google as well. Watcher in the Water Wiki. Wandering toward them all. It's a fictional creature. Is there only one of it? It was a horrifying and mysterious beast straight out of Lovecraft. Many tentacles living in a stagnant pool in the west gate of Moria. Holy shit, that scared the life out of me. Pikeness, thank you so much. Billy Connolly is an orc somewhere down there, yeah. The water had crept deeper and deeper, closer and closer to the doors of Durin, leaving only a narrow walkway once the high road allowed traffic. The Watchers thought to have emerged from beneath Moria, being described by Gandalf as older, fouler than orcs. During the attempted recolonization of Moria by the dwarves, the Watcher killed Owen, classic Owen, when his reconnaissance party visited the West Gate. So it is kind of one of it, but it doesn't have to be one of it. I mean, we can go. Did you know that in Czech, it's called... Alright, let's go Estonian. Vataya, Vataja, Viz. Avaja, Viz. Yes, not at all offensive. Well, I like this one. The Afrikaans. Bode in die water. Die water. It's like body in die water. That's cool. Anyway, we could have another Watcher in the water. Or have it in some other liquid. Just made me think. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, I'm quite happy to kind of fiddle with the lore a little bit. Voyeur in the pub. That sounds like a different movie entirely. Just remember, I've never been charged. So Sigurd made it down to the mines, but was defeated there by the beast. It's a beast. Oh, it's a big beast. Come here, beastie. Hello, beastie. Just gotta start with the bad impression as well. Feed by the beast. There is a watcher in the water, down in the depths. They need not defeat it. Though they can. Though, if they can, they would become legends. And their fame would spread far and wide throughout the lands. Not the beast. Oh, not the beast. Yes, tomorrow is when the campaign is happening, of course. Mondays, 4 p.m. Eastern is when the campaign will be played. Need not defeat that can. The Watcher. Merely retrieve from Sigurd's skeletal corpse his famous sword of power. But, oh, Legends of Tomorrow. Sorry, sometimes I forget the thing that I just said, so the contextual joke which someone in chat makes, I completely miss. Yeah, they become legends. The ancient beast of old. Okay. Sigurd's skeletal corpse. So, I like the, yes, that's what I was thinking. The sword. If it is snowy, maybe there could be a frozen lake with a hibernating watcher, and in the course of the adventure of the party, you have to for it, making it. That could be a really neat idea, actually, Bed. Like, because it's frozen, it's actually been frozen in there, but the sword, like the sword in the stone, has also been frozen in as well, so you need to kind of thaw it out a little bit. I like that a lot more than just fucking with it. There is a problem, however. Come, Mr. Bond, you derive just as much pleasure from watches in the water as I do. There's a problem, however. There's a problem. The sword is stuck in the stone. I got really, really, really weak there. Gripped by a frozen tentacle, yes. When I grip swords. I do it for Queen and country. There's a problem, however. The sword, the whole lake has frozen over, trapping the ancient creature within, along with the sword, trapped in a, what's the word used? Trapped by a frozen tentacle. Did you say sword in a lake as in Arthurian legend? I said sword in a stone as in Arthurian legend. But yes, same deal. I mean, it's like trapped in there, right? Only one. Throwing out the water, making the ancient beast stir, and seeing its shadow form moving underwater. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh god, it's waking up. Oh, there are more tentacles on it. Yeah, exactly. Trapped in a frozen tentacular display. The sword itself. Let's go on. They must find a way to thaw out the frozen lake. We'll figure out some ideas exactly how to do that in a bit. Every round of combat, another section of arms awaken, making the combat more and more dangerous. Yeah, I like that. It sort of stabbed into the tendril, challenge him to go after that one protected tendril. Yeah, I want to work on the sword's ability. I'm thinking it's got like shadow power as well. In that, it's probably been tainted by the evil of the creature. You know, once it was a good sword, it's now been fallen into shadow. I've passed the test. Let's copy that there. Copy that. Tango down. Gas. Ghost. They must find a way to thaw out the frozen lake and retrieve the sword. Maybe there's some hot underground spring which I need to bring forth. Lady Lake was Excalibur. Oh no, I mean like similar to that, but I don't actually mean to do exactly that. Yeah. Let me. Okay. The sword shimmers like sting, except the presence of other type of creature. That could be neat, couldn't it? Like wraith creatures, it could. Yeah, yeah. Sword itself glows when near the presence of wraiths and other undead creature. I guess it's undead, unliving. I don't know what the exact terminology would be in this. Reign over me. How's it going, brother? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. And other undead creatures. It is, however, tainted by shadow. Are you kidding me? Tainted isn't a word? My taint is a word. Tainted by shadow. Elven Forge, yeah. May I ask something to you and the chat? You may reign over me. You may, my friend. Feel welcome to. Also, if you guys are enjoying the show, hit that follow button and join us. We're here 6 days a week, playing games. Playing good fun games. That's how tainted by shadow. What about the user is I'm dying in Florida, help me. Oh dear. Oh dear, that's quite a British response, isn't it? Oh dear, it's dying in Florida. The user is what about afflicted by the wandering madness? What's it called? Curse, bane, something along those lines in the game. By wandering madness. And could fall victim to the same wandering that befell Sigurd and ultimately caused his demise. Not triple digit here, oh man. That sounds gross, to be honest, and it's getting cooler here in England. I wish we had AC in the UK more readily. In Florida. So I'm DMing a party of 2. Nice. They are going after a thief. They'll be trapped at a city that is under siege. Is there any encounter you could suggest? Yeah, think about things that happen in siege time. It's actually an area that I quite enjoy looking at kind of historically. You get a lot of crime in siege times. That could be a really cool thing to go if, you know, people who are really starving. There's food shortages as well. Can they get supplies into the city because the stocks are running low? People trying to rob from the supplies. All sorts actually with that. You can go highwaymen. Okay, have the player suddenly develop a stinking pox, making them horrifying to behold and ostracized. Just some RP consequences, and Sigurd perhaps feels so shunned he went to seek salvation by deed. Ooh. So would not wielding sword stop it, or would it be a progressive curse even when not using it? AoE curse effect. I think usually in this game, and it is something. I'll ask the question, Richard, and if I have time to answer, I can. I think it affects it, but I will have to read more into the exact rule set on like shadow items in this game. But I believe it is a kind of progressive sort of curse, and it's often when you perform acts of certain alignments, things can happen to you. But I will read more into that. That'll be my homework for tonight. I bore you guys of reading too much. Yeah, okay. It does also have a great power to destroy wraiths, and as such is known as, I don't know, Wraithbane, or some such other silly name. Maybe the thief runs through co-op team opposing forces. Sounds cool. Looks like you got a lot of ideas there. Okay. So that's a sword. Don't think it's going to be that simple though, simply because the journey mechanic, I'd imagine could probably take a whole session with its complexity. And then this one could take several sessions as well. But it would be cool to have a tentacular fight with the Watcher in the water. Wraithbane in this case has been used to slay wraiths in the past. Maybe it has. Maybe it has. Maybe, yeah, maybe it has. Maybe there's some history to that. Otherwise they wouldn't go and get it, you know? Otherwise they wouldn't bother going and get it. We'll figure that out as well. Okay, option 2, the council. Okay. Let's do this. The Council of Daelrond. Could do suck souls power, but Cursed tried to suck soul away. It could be like the shadow. You mean like the Shadow of Mordor game where you can like do soul-y stuff? That was pretty cool. I found that game quite funny. And then the follow-up game that they're doing is called Shadow of War. So it's like. It's like we made a game called Shadow of Mordor. How about we made a game called Shadow of Wardor? Yeah. Huh? Is the party ever going to purify the sword, or it's staying tainted and the players must fight the unholy whispers? Yeah, they could probably purify the sword, right? So I don't know who would do that. Maybe like an elf or something. As the fight of the Watcher progresses, shouts and cries come from below. First I hear the onset of deep drums echoing from stream from Moria, putting fear of God in the players like struggles to reach the sword. Cool, yeah. What if the Wraithbane may undergo a transformation upon taking the triggering amount of essence HP from Wraiths, becomes more powerful. That could be cool, yeah. Yeah, very combat heavy. I found it. I mean, this isn't a fucking review of the game because who am I to talk about video games? But it was. I don't know. It felt like a little bit like every Assassin's Creed or Ubisoft game that I'd played after a while. It's like I'm climbing a tower for a checkpoint, and then I jump off the tower, and I'm getting collectibles. And I enjoyed it for a good couple of hours. So. Be terrified of. Yeah, I was thinking. I like the idea of that. In fact, I wanted to work more on the orc camp, and the orcs could be following them. Yes, where was this thing? Where was the thing I wrote before? I had a thing, I swear. Oh, it was all the way back up here. Yeah, oh, this... the Goblins and Orcs. Sent from such and such... The orc. An orc. Okay. So I need an orc name, everybody. And this is a guy that has a camp in Mirkwood. And I'm thinking, what if they're kind of tracking them? He's also working with the spiders and the goblin queen, and they're trying to make sure that they track the party and kind of hunt them down in case they get the sword. And so maybe the drums are... there's like a trap waiting for them when they get there. That could be cool. Grug. Gladra is still around. Not sure Laura now. Maybe one of the other lords can bless the sword and move it. I think she's still around, right? Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I don't think I ever finished it. Pretty sure I didn't. I like the Nemesis system though, it's cool. Mumgnaz Usrog. If it's a soul stealer sword, maybe it could be broken when it's undead nearby. The broken part is becoming ghostly. Oh, that could be cool. Gogsrog. Nugraga. Greg. Okay. I will save this question, Rich, and I'll put it at the bottom of my document. Start the endless show. I can answer that for you, my man. Okay. I liked... What did I even say? Nugraga. Graham. I forgot Americans can't say Graham, probably. Where was the thing? It was up here. Nugraga. We'll use the other names as well, though, of course. With a camp within Mirkwood Forest. Nugraga has alliance with Spider Queen, not sure as Menadale. he also owes allegiance to the Goblin King of Moria. With Taraldar, and the spiders, Nugraga is given the task of hunting the party and making sure that there are traps waiting for them within Angmar. Yeah, okay, cool. I like it. I like it. Graham the Mighty. Axe Spider. Nugraga Axe Spider. Why do I keep biting axes? They're not tasty. They look so tasty every time. Okay. That's Nugraga. Okay. Yes. They hear drums arising. Oops. From the deep while they attempt to grab the sword and find that. I mean, this could be a thing as well. Like this orc has been sort of tracking them across the wilds. Oh, cool. Sorry, I just had to read something interesting. Not like chat isn't interesting, of course, but something else just popped up. Trying to grab a sword and find that Nugraga's band have finally caught up with them, and a trap has been sprung. They must contend with this battle. That would be cool. That would be cool. Now we link it back in the Goblin King. We red underlines everywhere the fancy names. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, what is that person's name? Sometimes I even capitalize them as well because I'm so bad. Go on. Okay. Let me make sure I've got Richard's question there. My support just cringes now when I fire it up. Random tangent, but Azog was truly Billy Badass. Azog. Yes, Azog the... White? Azog? No, I can't remember what his name was. Azog the douchebag, basically. The White Orc. Will I encounter any black Numenorians? That sounds cool, but I don't even know what that is. The Defiler, you're right, yes. Men of Angmar, let's see. Black Numenorian. The Black Numenorians are a fallen group of Numenorians. Numenorians. I keep trying to say Numenera. I know half the wiki pages off, but I'll read it. Who were descended from those loyal of the Numenorian crown, but those opposed to the Valar and the relations with the elves. Ooh. They listened to the words of Sauron. Soon they are corrupted by him and would come to worship the darkness and Morgoth. Silverito, welcome to the fellowship, my friend. Thanks for following, brother. Morgoth. And also, if I could imagine Atrix, welcome in. All right. Are they like? Oh, I did not know that the mouth of Sauron was a black Numenorian. For me, this is like one of the most. Here's me fucking like reading Numenorian lore, and I didn't see this gigantic fucking. How is it going, everybody? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Man, I've been like, oh my god, I'm looking at the fucking black Numenorian. How is it going, everybody? Just roll with. Thanks so much for the host, guys. Thank you for the raid. Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon. We are currently doing some prep work for our latest campaign. Now, you guys are just joining in. You're just joining in. Yeah, sometimes I get into my prep work a little bit. Crazy hippie lows, how's it going, everybody? If you do enjoy the show, follow, of course. But yeah, we're here 6 days a week. We play role-playing games, mostly D&D, and we're prepping this campaign. We're currently, we have our map of Middle-earth up here. We're writing a story about the guys going to Angmar and finding a wraith. We've got a bunch of maps all planned out. The campaign itself starts tomorrow, Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm really, really excited for it. We've got a great cast. You guys are joining in at the perfect moment, actually, because tomorrow is the start of a whole new season of play, which means that all new campaigns, all new shows are starting. So it's a great time to join into the channel and to say, hey, just raid with it. Who I got to thank? I've got Just Roll with it with the host. Thank you, guys. I think I may be wrong. I may have hosted you guys the other night. It's good to see you all. It's good to see you all. Sometimes I get a little bit into my prep work. How's it going, Crazy Hippie? Good to see you, brother. Man, Crazy Hippie's just been, like, killing it recently. I see on my auto-host and on my following page and stuff. If you don't follow that guy, you really should. Let's get out a shout-out command also for Roll With It, who do some great D&D. Let's get some shout-outs. There we go. A Crazy Hippie. I spelled that right, I think. What lies east of the scene of Rune? That's a good question. Fuck me, guys. A ton of follows. Welcome, one and all, to our little fellowship here. I've lost count of the numbers, but there you go. Say hey. Is that a crypt? Oh, that's a dance gaming, mate. But yeah, we're writing our story. Tomorrow, the show actually happens. Just finished our first D&D stream. Holy moly, man. How did it go? How was the session? That's exciting stuff. But yeah, if you want to see the schedule for the new shows that's starting, I'll pop it up here. I'll pop it up here for you guys so you can say like faithful follow my friends. Oh, also, whilst I've got you guys here as well, in other exciting Encounter Roleplay news, we're starting a Kickstarter, which is happening next week tomorrow, and it's for a D&D module called The Breath of Gore. And if you are excited about it, as I am excited about it, I'll show you guys a couple of pages here in a second. Please do sign up for my Thunderclap on that link there. It was amazeballs. Nice. But we're going to kind of try and do extort a gold from Governor. Me knowing a dragon will blast a castle top wolves, but DM might change a campaign encounter sucks. Oh, man. What were you guys playing, out of interest? Like D&D 5th? Tell me more. Did you get very far? But mostly I've just been doing my Billy Connolly impressions quite badly here whilst we talk about dwarves and mines and Moria. And they're also going to be fighting a Watcher in the Water, so they are a little bit concerned about that. Or at least they should be, I think. Let's bring this up here on the screen. This is the new schedule for shows coming out next week. First show's at 1 p.m. Eastern. Second show's at 4 p.m. Eastern. Oh, let me get out of the way for you. So this is Sunday, obviously, and then tomorrow we've got Lost Mine of Fandelver, followed by Journey in Middle-earth, this campaign which is happening. Then Tuesdays I'm on Middle-earth with Arvin Elrond's channel, where you can see him in the chat there. And then we have the Long March. Then we're playing Call of Cthulhu, Horror on the Orient Express, one of my favourite campaigns. Then Tales from the Yawning Portal. Then Thursdays is a new campaign, Excavation of Tavor and Tricks of the Trade. So as you can see, we play a shit ton of Dungeons and Dragons over here. So welcome in, everybody. Thanks so much for the raid again, guys. Give Just Roll It a follow. Give them some love, and we really do need like more host and raid culture in the D&D community on Twitch. I've been saying that for a while now. Try and host every night somebody that is good. So let's keep that up, guys. That's awesome. Like, did he have a car? No, he had a carriage, my friend. He had a carriage instead. Hobrit really kicked off. Nice. I like it. All right, so let's go back to our plan. So we're talking about this group of orcs, and I've more than lost count of this follow count. I don't know, 25. 21. And we've got this orc called Nugraga, who's going to be hunting the party through until they reach Angmar. So the party are going to be starting here on our map, and they're going to be traveling through the journey mechanic of Adventures in the Middle-earth, which is Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition conversion, all the way up here. Man, I feel like, you know that scene in The Two Towers Extended when... Actually, I think it's in The Two Towers Space as well, but he's like tapping on the map. Faramir's tapping on the map. Our numbers are here. There are 4,000 here. Up to the east, there are some here. And let me just tap the map, I never done. But basically, they're starting here, and they're going up to Angmar here. Actually, let's put that in the GM layer so that the party don't know that's there. And let's put something else in GM info overlay as well. And let's just draw a quick shape that Angmar is one of the locations that we will be going to in our campaign this week. Time to go follow up and on it. Fuck yeah, it is, man. It's just long overdue follow for that, man. Fantastic. So, let's see. Nugraga, I believe, is how one would pronounce that in the black speech, dark language, whatever they call it. Nugraga, he needs an epithet. Every good orc, every good villain in a Tolkien story has an epithet, I would say. So, is he like Azog the Defiler? Gandalf the Grey was a little bit unimaginative, but it really changed it up about halfway through to Gandalf the White. Nugrag the Poison-Fanged. Nugrag the Poison Fangs. Or Nugrag of the Poison... Nugrag of the Poison Fangs. He's got his big fangs. Yeah. I'm imagining him with a lisp now. The Diplomat. Oh, I like that. So he's like an intelligent orc. He's an intelligent orc because he has alliances with the spiders. He has alliances with the goblins of Moria. Nugrag the diplomat. I don't know, would they use diplomat? Nugrag the assuager of fears. Nugrag the politician. Now, that wouldn't get him anywhere. Nugrag the bold. Nugrag the black lie. Skull Crusher. Nugrag the Bolding, but I'm getting implants. The Dark Envoy. Yes. The Dark Emissary. Yeah. Envoy Emissary. The Black Tongue. The Nugrag the Chiropractor. Nugrag the very fond of little birds. He's never been charged. No Gregler Scientologist. No Gregly Louis Theroux Watcher. No Gregler Cuddler. Oh man, he's just become a meme. He's just become a meme immediately. God damn it. No Gregly. Sometimes I get lonely and just need someone to love. No Gregly Nudist. No, Greg just wants a hug, man. He just wants some loving. I can't fault him for that. I really can't. Fucking hell. Okay. The Reggae Ragamuffin. Okay, so we know who Nugrag is now. Nugrag has an alliance with the Spiders of Mirkwood, who featured in the Hobbit movies, for those of you who've seen the films, and like them, I guess. Actually, liking the movies isn't obligated. Fuck me, words. Spiders of Mirkwood. Sometimes I try and speak. The Spiders of Mirkwood and the goblins, a goblin king of Moria, along with a new alliance with Taraldar, the Wraith of Dol Guldur. I actually want to make Taraldar less of a boring villain. I'm currently feeling a little bit as though Taraldar might be a bit of a boring character because he's just like, I am a villain. Ooh. Nugrag the Unsavory. Nugrag Voice Bear. Beard looks nice. Thanks, Taylor. I appreciate it. I've been working on it, you know, what can I say? My Lab Jasmine career's coming along pretty well. They were in the book as well, yeah. I remember listening to an audio drama, the audio drama from God, when I was a kid, I don't know what it was. It's probably lying around here somewhere. I had it on cassette tape, and they were speaking. No Greg the undercooked. No Greg was sitting on a park bench. No Greg the... Wait, what was my name again? I keep changing it. The last one was really cool, though. Shaz and Mortar Games did an amazing job in making, like, Celebrimbor. I haven't played enough of it, I'm afraid. Okay, so his task is to see to the men of Dale, and during the campaign, hunting the party across the lands until his trap is sprung at Dol Guldur. Sorry, at Angmar. Always getting the two mixed up. No Greg the Unremarkable. What's happening, Sankey? How's it going? If you sent a picture of live Jasmine Crumb, I could find it in 5 seconds. It is well known that people bear many names in Middle-earth, yes. Okay, so... Crosslands until its trap is sprung at Angmar. The party may become aware that they are being hunted. It's similar to, I'm very much getting a end of the first Lord of the Rings film vibe. Amunhen. The scene at Amunhen where they know that that there's, strangers abroad, there's evil abroad, evil afoot, and something is kind of chasing them. And, they can turn around and try and stop and fight it, or they can try and kind of outrun them. Where they do want their trap to be kind of sprung in Angmar. It's a good question, Bomber. I mean, what is the makeup of the party? Also, we were looking into Black Numenorians before, and I want that to be a thing. They're, like, super cool. This is another Black Numenorian by another artist, John Howe. And then this is Jan or Jan Popisil. It's kind of tiny, but thanks, Jan. Yeah, I do want some Black Numenorians when they get to Angmar. But I guess the makeup of the group is... You're going to leave abroad. He commands a force of... Okay, so... Who does he have? Okay, so question. Do they have... Probably some misspelled rouge, yeah. Fuck me. Do they have, like, orcs with them? Orcs and goblins? I know that they have, they may have kind of beasts with them. I know they have, like, wargs, right? Do we have a sample of the PCs for tomorrow? I can show you a couple of their character sheets if you like, yeah. A Rogue and Rouge, yes. So, a small band of... cunning, if somewhat unintelligent, goblins. Not going to be strong or just really smart. Oh yeah, what if he's got what if they have like a troll or something? That could be kind of cool. If Nugurag is kind of like the brains of the operation, he kind of puts us all together because the goblins are kind of dumb. Intelligent goblins. A brutish and strong troll from the... Is it Troll Downs? Troll Downs? Ettenmoors? I feel like there is a Troll Shores. Troll Shores, isn't it? Maybe it's travelled with him from there. As in see the orcs as tools. Yes, I see, yes. I think very much so. If there is a Numenorian... Black Numenorian involved, then most likely they probably see even Nugrag as probably a bit of an idiot, really, and means to an end. Several... Yeah, what about... I don't know, do you have shadow hounds or something? Hounds, which the goblins keep for sport. I mean, we could go with walks. I mean, personally, like, my own, like, nerd boner when it comes to Wild Riders is, like, the coolest thing. Trolls can never travel in sunlight, that is true, that is true. Warg Riders. Yeah, alright. The troll remains behind, I think, in the camp at Mirkwood, as it cannot travel during the day. This allows them to travel great distances each day. So the wargs are going to be kind of chasing them. I think they're going to be keeping their distance, though. They're going to wait for their trap, you know? War balls. Piglets make tasty bacon. That reminds me of, like, the war pigs that the Romans had. It cannot travel during the gay. Whilst it's so happy and gay, the troll cannot. It can only travel in misery. Okay. Yes. During the journey, Nugrag and his band will try to remain at a good distance from the party, waiting for their trap at Angmar. However, if the party diverge or do not travel to Angmar, they will wait for the, shall we say, opportune moment to strike. Yes. War pigs sound terrifying. I believe there is a Roman writer whose name escapes me. Poly something, or a Greek writer, whom wrote about the war pigs that were. I mean, they use war pigs quite commonly against elephants. Elephants really, really don't like the squealing of pigs. And so what they do is, you know, giant elephants coming at you, you just unleash a herd of pigs at them, and the horrible squealing noises that they made would really dissuade the elephants from kind of charging forwards. The other one, which is a bit more of a legend, is that they'd set fire to pigs, cover them in tar, set fire to them, and send them in, and that would, you know, disrupt the lines. Interesting. Anyway, it could be Polyphemus who wrote about it. Let's see. It's definitely a Poly. I remember reading about it in school. No, Polyanus. Polyphemus, is he not the giant? Yes, the Greek Cyclops, rather. Anyway, God, I'm a nerd. The traveller in the light of a glorious donger. Don't think many shadow creatures, yes. Peter is watching me. Let them come. There is one dwarf yet in Moria who still draws breath. Yes, by no one, indeed. Good story, that. Good story. Alright, anyway. Moving back away from... Let's get away from fantasy, guys, and talk about Lord of the Rings. Let's wait for the opportune moment to strike. If the party look weak, then they can expect an assault. Nugrag himself will stay back from the fighting, preferring to orchestrate events rather than fight himself. The coward that he is. I've never read the Percy Jackson books, but apparently they were real good. Maybe I should give them a read someday. Alright, let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, see here. What? For a fighting Fred orchestrate adventure on to stay back himself until they reach Angmar. Once 50% of the orcs' forces are killed, they will attempt to flee back to meet with Nugreg. Not Mugregor. Not Colin McGregor. Owen McGregor, rather. They're giant sheep that eat flesh, and they eat it quickly. Piranha sheep. Seems legit, man. Seems legit. I would, talk about wolves in sheep's clothing, yeah. Piranhas in pajamas. Piranhas in pajamas are running down the stairs. That would have been a different show. Okay, arrival at Angmar. Okay. So, got the Council of Dale, which is our next scene that we wanted to do. An arrival at Angmar, in which they fight the Watcher in the water that's been frozen in place. Let's talk about the return journey a little bit here. Return to Dale. The return journey should be simpler, as they are not pursued. No longer pursued by Nugrega, whom at this point is most likely dead. Green midgets covered in gunpowder vests who go boom on death. Please no piranha sheep. Is that actually a thing? If I Google piranha sheep, does something come up? And is it illegal? There are no images of piranha sheep. Piranha. No other DIP kills sheep, lice like piranha. Oh, there's like an actual ad. There's like an actual ad for a lice killer of sheep called piranha. Interesting. Piranhas and vaginas. Liz, Heat, and your live Jasmine channel. Damn, I mean, what can I say, brother? It gets hot at the best of times. I am also burning up here as well. I've probably got the other hour in me, and then I will concede to the heat and try and lie back and ready myself for tomorrow. How's it going, Dragon? Good to see you, brother. If you guys don't follow Dragon on YouTube, by the way, you should watch him. He's got some good videos over there. Let me find his YouTube channel for you, because the shout-out command shouldn't work with YouTube, I don't think. Let's see. Dragon's domain. What's that searching? Besides, you use goblins as landmines. That sounds like the goblins in Dota 2, is it? Wasn't there a terrible movie like Killer Sheep like 10 years ago? I don't know. I don't know, probably. I mean, there's probably a bad movie 10 years ago from about most things, I'd imagine. The entire week is 30 degrees in the clouds. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. I remember there being piranhas 3D or something, or Double D or something. That's Dragon's YouTube channel, in case you guys were interested in watching some D&Ds in his spare time, whilst I'm not live. Alright, I start melting around 15 degrees. Man, now to fly, I am the same as you, my friend. As soon as it starts getting hot, I get tired, my productivity goes down, all sorts of bad things. Okay, this should be pursued by Nogara. The journey, for this reason, should be one step easier on the journey mechanic table, which is a thing in the game, allowing for a swift return. There might be some events on the way back that we want to bring in. We might want to bring in our Ent there as well, actually. It's good to use them advantage, yeah. We had this idea of a corrupted Ent, and now let's look back at our map. Also, I want to talk more about the Black Numenorians as well. Whilst we're up in Angmar, that's like our golden opportunity to do it. Where is the... There's an Ent in Fangorn that's corrupted. It's unlikely that they take I mean, it seems to me a likely path for them would be up along the forest. Oh, fuck, didn't want to do that. Let me just freehand this, guys. Let me just fucking. It would seem unlikely to me that you take this path here. This seems like the most likely path, rather, up to Angmar. It doesn't seem likely that you'd like go this way. God, this line's weird because I got the wrong tool selected, and then go up. Holy fucking mackerel. So it seems unlikely that you'd ever get near Fangorn, so maybe it's an Ent in Mirkwood that is actually causing a nuisance for itself. Maybe it's been corrupted by the Wraith or the Spirit, or maybe something else. Maybe the spiders have corrupted, in fact. Do it. Stealthing to pass some spiders, yeah. Yeah, we do have a spider encounter up here. We have done a spider little scene over here. There are more spiders on the sides of the scene currently. The other thing is we also have an orc war camp made. That's acting up a little weird. It hasn't loaded in quite properly yet. Oh, it's loaded a little bit weird. Most of it's brown earth rather than that. But that will serve as the war camp within the Mirkwood Forest. Oh, something just appeared. Okay, so let's go corrupted Ent in the Forest of Mirkwood. Okay. Something is wrong upon their return to Mirkwood, however. It would seem as though the reach of these spiders has grown long. The long arm of the spider has grown long. Looks like that spider's gone really long over there. I saw a really big spider last night, actually. It was gross. As long as there are no phase spiders. Phase spiders are pretty terrifying. Luckily, there aren't in Tolkien lore, as far as I know. As far as I know. So we should be safe. As soon as the reach of the spider has grown long. An Ent. Let's read a little bit up on Lord of the Rings Ent wiki. Really just use the same wiki. Ent, also known as Onodrim, tree host by the elves, is a very old race that appeared in Middle-earth at the same time the elves did. Apparently the daughter of someone no one really cared about. Treebeard spoke to the elves, curing the Ents of their dumbness. That was a great gift not to be forgotten. Ents are tree-like creatures. They vary in traits. Okay. In the Third Age, the Forest of Fangorn was apparently the only place Ents still inhabited, although Huorns may have still survived elsewhere as in the Old Forest. Horns. Huorns? Well, a dreadful living race of ancient, slow-moving trees from the Ents cared for and tended to in the Second Age or the Third. Maybe it's an Ent that's traveling for some reason. An Ent, or maybe that's too sort of off-canon. 5 years after 5 armies. Damn spooters. We battled a phase spider last time I played. Oh man, those things are gross. They just fucking. They just like pop up in your face and then go. An Ent, perhaps drawn. Yes, corrupted. Okay, yeah, this works. Corrupted by a sister spider of Caraskel in Mirkwood. Sorry, in Fangorn. Has been drawn by the scent of corruption. Smells corrupted. What is it? What you smell? Man flesh. Dane Ironfist. Yes, I believe Dane is in the mountains and Bard is in Dale at the moment. He's about to bless Melee and it disappeared and appeared in the battle fight. Oh man. That thing's like a whole rogue on his own. Dane! Oh my god, you're right. Billy Connolly is actually in The Hobbit. I totally forgot they did that weird like CG. It is Billy Connolly, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. They do that weird CGI thing with him, and it doesn't really look like Billy Connolly, but his voice is so unmistakable. That it's just It's so weird. Drawn by Center Corruption. Towards the forest of Mirkwood. Okay. They did that weird thing with Orlando's face as well. It's like, he's young! So we've added on a bunch of strangeness to him. It was odd. The one thing, like, one of my criticisms, and it's not my only criticism about the Hobbit movies, but one of my criticisms about the Hobbit movies was I really loved in The Lord of the Rings how they had live actors for the orcs and the goblins, and it's something about, like, the Uruk-hai, because in several scenes are shot as actual people in costume. It ages so well compared to the CGI, which ultimately is never going to age particularly well. And so I never particularly loved the orcs and goblins within The Hobbit because a lot of them were done more CGI. There are a few shots of them where they're like live actors, but that was something about the trilogy that I thought was just fantastic. Anyway. Stop talking about that. And then corrupted by the sister spider of Carascale and Fangorn has been drawn by the Senate corruption towards the forest of Mirkwood. It is blighted and fallen to the corruption of the Wraith. Buddy must try and help this potential ally of theirs, or defeat it. I'll go into more detail on that as well. I only saw the first Hobbit movie, didn't see the second and third. I didn't particularly like the first one. I mean, here's the thing, I enjoyed it from like a person who watches movies point of view. I didn't enjoy it as a person who loves the books and also the movies as well, the original 3 movies. But the third one, I actually enjoyed the third one more than any of the movies. It was a good movie, you know. Oozes poisonous sap. Ooh, yeah, I like it. Let me see this. This imgur is entitled "Found Him." Yeah, I mean, the rumors are true. I have to tweet that. Save that. There we go. I just love how it's always random pictures of my face, like just whilst I'm talking about Middle Earth or something. Do you know any kind of Mafia RP system? Oh god, that sounds interesting. Not off the top of my head. Link it. Oh man, well we got to tweet this now. I'm pretty sure I saved it. Yeah, I saved it. Would I get in trouble for this? I won't get in trouble for this, right? Like, sometimes I do stupid things like this, and people are like, that is so offensive, well, I can't believe that you would say that word, or that you would do something like that. So sometimes I just need, like, I need like, a check. Like, am I doing something dumb? It's tough trying to live life as an anonymous D&D sex icon. Eventually, I'll get ya. I need to, you're at Rakam, right? There we go. Alright, tweet sorted. Anonymous. Sorry, I had to report you. Yeah. I get stupid shit like that sometimes. People get, like, past couple of days, people have been triggered by, trying to be social justice warriors for all the internet. It doesn't ask about it for attention. Okay, or defeated. Yes, I like the idea that we didn't name for this ent, guys. What do we want to call this ent? We had Treebeard. We had I can't think of the others. There was one that I just looked at the wiki page. But I like the terrible feel, like the terrible Photoshop is always much appreciated, like the MS Paint job type vibe. Let's see, Watcher in the Water. No, search me, Ent. Ents. Yes, there was other names here. The Brownlands. Doesn't sound like a good place to go, does it? Take me to Quickbeam. Apparently, Quickbeam, Treebeard. What can we call this guy? Fawnlong, Mossbrain, Lichen Oak, Beachbone, Bregalad, Finglas, Fladriff. Ah, that's cool. I didn't know that. Fall Trunk. Yeah, happy Father's Day, Rickham. Lichen Oak. Oh man, what do I like? Why don't we just take one? I mean, the pie aren't going to know really. It's probably going to be a couple of nerds that are really going to know in the audience. Let's go with JJ. What am I doing here? Birchbark, Splinterfall. How's it going, Akita? Highbark. Highbark I like actually. Highbark I like. The Ent Highbark. Okay, wait. We need. You know, you know what Highbark sounds a little bit like?
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hey, Johnny, what's up?
I have a problem.
Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, man, is it too similar? Will they notice? Or will it just be a cheeky aside to the greatest movie there ever was? Oh, man. That is a throwback, yes. Okay, the Ent Highbark can be cured by maybe Radagast. If they can get to the old wizard in time. Yeah. Only you would notice that. Yeah, good. Okay, just making sure. Hi, Bark. I'm gonna have one of the characters say hi to Bark. Might be saying a dog might do. That's true. Yes. Oh, hi, Bark. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. What a movie, guys! What a movie that was. What a pioneer of the art of cinema. Cued by Radagast if they get the old wizard in time. This might not be easy, as Highbark intends to go to Dol Guldur and join forces with Taraldar there. Taraldar? Have you seen the Birdemic? Is it? Let me see. 10 out of 10 movie. So most movie I've ever seen. It's like Cult. They may have encountered Radagast before if they have chosen to do tasks. One of the previous optional quests. Birdemic. Oh my goodness. The Resurrection. Birdemic. Shock and Terror. Is it like the birds, as in Hitchcock's birds? The horde of mutated birds descend upon a quiet town of Half Moon Bay, California, with the death toll rising. 2 citizens manage to fight back, but will they survive Birdemic? So it's a bit like Sharknado. Is it ironic though? Because Sharknado was pretty ironically done, I thought. Troll 2. Oh man, we can't. I get on tangents so easily. I haven't seen any of the Troll movies. Yeah, one of those kind of so bad it's good hits cult status. And join forces with Taraldar there. Do not tarry, Taraldar. Okay. Yeah, I want to do a Council of Dale a different day because it's less exciting. It's less exciting, isn't it? Doing a council scene. There are like 3 troll-free movies already. They're just that good. They can't stop making them. You see, must be the case. The one that's not about trolls. Okay, so they're going to do Taraldar there. Radagast will need to perform a spell I'm thinking of. Cleansing. In order to free Hybark from his... I release you from the spell. You have no power here, Gandalf the Grey. Okay. Hybark from the curse which afflicts him. Okay. Hey, what's up, music again? Welcome back, welcome back. You can't piss on hospitality. A rear window, I haven't seen that. Nilbog is goblin spelled backwards. Clever, clever. Maybe the pie can decide to slowly purify the end, or they can sacrifice a lake to purge a corruption correctly. What do you mean in sacrificing a lake? That sounds interesting. He smokes some sagewood to cleanse him. Yes, let me just smoke some of my pipeweed here. Perfectly fine. Hey, Frog, how's it going? Free Hybark from the curse which afflicts him. During this time, blighted. I mean, basically twig blights is what I want to have. But you know, maybe they don't exist. Oh wait, in fact, how about this? During this time, Hybark will be highly... I'm sorry. Towards the party. And they must survive. Alternatively, they can butcher him. Hybark, while in his weakened state. Yeah, okay. Some lakes, corrupt lake, let transfer corruption to a lake. Ooh, would Radagast be happy of that though? But maybe it's the only thing that can be done. Maybe Radagast thinks, well, you know, it's the only way, I'm afraid. Gotta work on my Radagast. There is another option. We need a name for a lake. A nearby lake. The nearby X lake. Throw me some ideas for a lake name, my friends. It's all about making it interesting. Yes, indeed. Lake. There is a nearby lake, rather. There is a nearby lake. Which could be used to transfer the corruption to. Radagast mentions that this will mean that no battle will take place. Meaning they need not fear the wrath of the Ent. But the lake itself will grow in corruption. He only suggests this idea because the circumstances are so very dire. Lake Titsmagee, Omera, Camorra, the Tarn of the Untarnished, the Sap Shallows, Lake Silveran. I like Lake Omera. Omera. Sounds quite elven. I've passed the test. I've passed the test at Lake Omera. Lake Omera. Lake Omera Lake. Lake Omera, because you're worth it. Okay. Sweet as a nut. Greenwood Lake. Shout out to my boy, Mr. Ed Greenwood. Okay. Greenwood's Mirkwood's original name. Didn't know that, Krundas. Didn't know that. Lake could have some nymph-like creatures living in it, but around the opposite side. Yes, it could anger them, or just potentially corrupt them. Will this mean that this option will involve 2 lakes in total? There could be any amount of lakes involved, honestly. I haven't decided yet. Is that Lake Loch Ness in Scotland, England? Scotland, England. That's not how that works. Scotland's actually inside England. We just kind of swallow them up. How many Scots would not be happy with me saying that? Okay, are there like nymphs or sprites? Let's see. Let's search. Not nymph. Nymph. Okay, what about sprite? Or some sprites. Sprites and pixies. Sprites are sapient beings that existed in the world of Arde in the earliest days, as recorded in the earliest forms of Tolkien's mythology. They are spirits of trees and woods, of dale and forest and mountains at dale. Or those that sing amid the grass at morning and chant among the standing corn at eve. Sprites were born before the world and came with the Ainur. Ainur? Ainur? Sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? Ainur. They do not seem to be one of the Ainur, nor one of the children of Ilúvatar, and were probably immortal. They are attached to growing things in nature and were naturally playful beings, and were known for chanting and singing in many places where things grew. They existed in great numbers and were called by many names: brownies, fays, leprauns. Leprauns. Literally a lap prawns. Nandini, Nermir, Orossi, pixies, and Tavari. Okay, so sprites are a thing. Sprites are definitely a thing. We found Nessie. we found Nessie. So they're just building future problems to deal with. That's, yeah, pretty much it. Pretty much it. The ones who created the wizards. Cool. There's a lot of Tolkien lore that I am enjoying learning here. Mostly the stuff that I know is, Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit-based stuff, so that's always cool. There are sprites which exist nearby in this long-forgotten pocket of the world. They exist alongside nature. They're basically like druids, I guess. Or elvy druids, I guess. They exist alongside nature and will be eventually corrupted by the seeping chaos if they choose this option. Yeah. Okay. Pretty interesting stuff there. I like the moral dilemma. I'm big enough nerd to own a Silmarillion. Yeah. I own a Silmarillion, to be fair. I think. Maybe I don't. Pretty sure there's a hardback copy somewhere or other. I also have like an old art book of art of Tolkien. I can't remember what it's called. It's a bunch of really old artwork though. I don't even know what that is. It's probably underneath my bed somewhere in a box. I feel like it was in like an 80s or older book. Anyway. Silmarillion hipsters. Yes. We've spoken of such in the past. Actually, the Lord of the Rings really isn't good at all. You should go read the Silmarillion. That's like every English lit student I met during my time at university. Beren and Luthien is now on hardback and paperback from Amazon. There you go. Fun fact, kids. Go buy yourself some Tolkien. Go educate yourself. Go educate your kids. Okay. Whatever they choose will affect. Yes, affect. It does not any effect. Affect the upcoming war that is growing in the east. If Highbark is cured via battle and Radagast's spell, he will join them in the battle. If they corrupt the lake, Hobart will mourn the loss of the natural lake and its inhabitants. Danish, my man, how many months have been now? How many months have been? 10 months? Holy fucking mackerel, dude. I salute you, sir. A gentleman and a scholar. Medical assistant says, hey, okay, this is my first time watching a D&D group. Welcome in, my friend, medical assistant. There's a button which says follow. If you want to catch my streams, you can turn on notifications to catch me live. My name's Will. I'm here, streaming Dungeons and Dragons and other games 6 days a week. So welcome into our little family, my friend. A little fellowship, should I say. Let's try some drinks in chat for Danish, by the way. Subscribe for 10 months. I can't believe it's actually almost been a year since I've been partnered. Where did I go to university and what I study? I studied ancient history at the University of Birmingham in the United Kingdom. Not Birmingham. Is it Alabama? Birmingham, Alabama? I don't know where it is. But yeah. Our Birmingham is Peaky Blinders Birmingham. Birmingham. Got this horrible kind of... They eventually low-key got into it, so here I am. Oh, dude, if you like podcasts, and thanks for following, if you like podcasts, then we have one as well, so you can check that out. All right, thanks for following, guys. Now, let me see. Yes, so if you're interested in when the schedule is for actually watching our games being played, yeah, that's crazy, Danish. You can find our schedule here. It's all new and updated. You joined in at the perfect point, actually, because our whole new season of shows starts tomorrow, which means that all new shows are happening. Let's go listen to the Red Hand. That is such a good song, such a good production as well. I am on fire. Okay. Good luck with that. A one lost the natural lake and its inhabitants, but will stand alongside them. However, in this case, Hobart will be more reluctant to help them in the Council of Dale scene. Thirdly, if they fail to free him, he will fight for the enemy. I guess that's capitalized enemy, because the enemy seems to be here on in Middle Earth. New season of Peaky Blinders out? I don't actually know. I actually haven't watched the third series. I watched the first two series. And then for some reason I just stopped. It's not like I didn't like it. It's not like I wasn't really enjoying it. I watched the first episode of series 3. And I think I moved into Sydney and we ended up watching different shows. But there you go. Love Tucker. Yeah, man. So if you want to watch this campaign, it is tomorrow. It's Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Give you guys a sneak preview of the... let me add my webcam here so it's not totally off. Middle of... Oh yeah, brother. Episode 1 begins tomorrow, and it is going to be a good one. I can tell you that much. Let me show you the overlay for tomorrow so you can get a sneak preview. We'll be over here. We'll be over here tomorrow, and our map will be there in the middle for you guys to look at. So we got our Roll20 over there, and our One Ring in the corner. So very much looking forward to playing tomorrow. I'm pretty excited. I know my players are as well. Does it sound low? I can turn off my compressor a little bit. I can pump up my gain. Revolver is back. Yeah, you can find a full cast and crew there if you're looking. There's a couple of great new additions to the cast, and yeah. Oh man, I love the Tolkien universe as well, dude. It's pretty sick. It's just getting closer and closer and further from it. Maybe I am, yeah. Maybe I'm bouncing around a little bit. I just get so excited, guys. Get so excited. Is that overlay done by someone you and I both know? Maybe it is, Alvin. Maybe it is done by 1 kilobyte. Let's find his Twitter. There he is. It's my Scott from Canada. The distant lands of Canada. I did those. There should be a link on the cast 2 kilobyte as well. And if there's not, then it's on my to-do list. Wrote my master's dissertation on the Legendarium. That's cool. That is cool. And in the darkness bind them. Okay, so we've got a little bit left to do, because we've done a bunch of writing, and generally feeling a little bit tired today, honestly. The heat just drains me of all energy. I'm productive for 3 hours, and I'm like, no, it's bedtime. In this case, Highbark have been reluctant to help an encounter Del soon, fill a freedom fight for the enemy, or they kill him. In this case, Radagast is upset. So a bunch of options there about what might happen. Yeah, he's very good overlays. Very quick as well. There are rumors that they want to make a move about the Silmarillion as well. Oh, you mean like a movie or something? I can't pretend I wouldn't watch it. You know, I can't pretend I wouldn't watch it, because I would. Yeah, when it's hot, I just get really, really drained. Oh, hey, girlfriend. Sorry, there was chat. I didn't see it. Maybe Highbark has an HP difference in the battle based on their choices. That's a cool idea. Yeah. He will also be less effective in battle. Let's do this. If they corrupt a lake, that makes more sense. We'll call this Highbark options. Highbark is cured. He'll join in battle. He will be at full fighting strength. If they corrupt Lake Highbark and Morning Lost, he'll be less reluctant to help and less effective in battle, and then I kill him and Radagast is upset, so get fucked. Yeah, there are issues of the Silmarillion? Maybe so, yeah, maybe so. Maybe if Highbark is purified, he will not participate in a battle but work on purifying the lake. Maybe, yeah, maybe so. I haven't read the book, Cyrus, no. I've seen it in stores, though. It's funny. Okay, so that's Radagast is upset. He will be less likely to aid them in the future. Radagast will remember that. Oh, also, someone was asking before, I think Medical was asking, what will the sessions be like? And I think actually Lauren's just gone to that question. But yes, there is a YouTube channel. If you want to go back and watch them now, you can go back and watch them Laurel on YouTube, or you can find them immediately in past broadcasts on Twitch. So where you are right now, you can go and find all the past streams and videos and stuff like that. Maybe a darker twist, he just works on putting the corruption back in himself. Oh, that's kind of grimy, isn't it? Like, stuffing corruption back into your various holes. Okay. Anyway, the Council of Day will be the next one here. All right, let's do a quick, because I figured I'd stream for about... So this D&D, what exactly is happening? I played it once and I had to move away from my friends. Can't imagine. We're currently writing a campaign. For Middle-earth, which is happening tomorrow. We've done a bunch of writing. We made a bunch of maps for it as well. The basic story is set 5 years. God damn it, Pike, that scares me so much. I'm such a baby. The campaign is set 5 years after the Battle of Five Armies, and they are set on a quest to defeat a wraith. That's basically what is going to happen in the campaign. If you want to watch it, there's a couple of things which I would encourage you to do. Is turn on your notifications on Twitch. It's something that's actually really helpful to me as a broadcaster and a channel as a whole. If you turn on notifications, which I believe are at the top right-hand side, it could be wrong, could be top left, could be bottom left as well. Somewhere around there, there'll be notifications. And what it means is that you will be notified when I go live. And it will send you an email or send you a text on your phone saying, Cat Roleplay's just gone live, a little boop on the phone. So it's a really good way to catch the shows when they go live. Also, follow me on Twitter is another great place to get the Okay, so you see a little bit. Top right is where notifications start. You turn them on, and it's right next to the heart. Yeah. And if you haven't followed, of course, following's the best way because you'll see me live in it. But also familiarize yourself with my schedule. Something I encourage people to do every day. Like I stream, which is currently Sundays to Thursdays, is 1 p.m. Eastern. The first show starts. The second show starts at 4 p.m. Eastern. A lot of people come in and they see I've been streaming for 3 hours. And like, oh no, I've missed loads. Actually, the second show is already just about to begin. You haven't missed too much, Kelly. We've just been doing a bunch of writing today, my friend. I also have a couple of questions that you guys asked during the stream that I said I'd get to towards the end here. Welcome, Cardomage. But yeah, that's where the schedule is. Really wanted to catch a long match. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I encourage you guys, again, if you do miss the shows, the YouTube channel is a really good place to catch up and find them. They're all nicely ordered there by a wonderful librarian, Shreepelt. But yeah, a couple of things. There was some questions. I wanted to remind you guys again about our Kickstarter. I'm pumping this news a lot. I know, sorry if it gets boring for you guys, but it's an important project, the biggest project that we've ever worked on here in Encounter Roleplay, and it's the one that we are most excited for and have so much personal investment in. There's a huge team of us working on it. I actually looked at it today, and there are 12 people, including myself, who are working on this project. This first ever Kickstarter coming June 26th, which is next Monday, not the 19th, the 26th. It's called Breath of Gore. It's a D&D module, complete digital module. Not only does it have an adventure module for both D&D5E and Pathfinder, you can choose whichever one you want. It also includes a homebrew setting, pre-made characters, and a ton of sexy artwork. This is a couple of sample pages that's available on our website currently, and you can see here, you can read through it yourself, of course. We've got some stats up for it as well, unique monsters, races and classes that are being made, a whole world for it as well. And if you want to help out, currently the Kickstarter isn't open, but there is a link here. There's a bit.ly link, like you see, !Kickstarter, which signs you up to a Thunderclap. And the Thunderclap basically means that you sign in with Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. You can do it all 3 ways. And on the 26th, when our project goes live, it will send out a message to your followers saying, are you going to back the Breath of Gore on Kickstarter, a complete D&D module with everything except the box? And we want that message to go out across kind of all of the followers that you guys have. So if you haven't signed up to the Thunderclap, it really helps us. For our Thunderclap to even happen, we have to have 100 people supporting it, and we currently have 66 people supporting it, so we're well on track, but we do need a couple more people to sign up. So if you haven't clicked that link yet, really encourage you to do so, and you can count as free people by signing in with Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. You can make a free Tumblr account or a free Twitter account. Yeah, you can find the website encounterroleplay.com there, and it is on the featured page of the website if you want to read through it yourself. All right. Why is it called Middle Earth? That's a good question. PogChamp, I don't even know. Probably because there's a couple of Earths in between it. It's like a sandwich. They should call it a middle sandwich, really. I think there was actually a funny, a really good radio play that was on several years ago called Lower Earth. I think it was set in Lower Earth. And it was a lot of fun. Thank you to Pikeness for signing up to the Thunder Club, and Pedro. Thank you guys. 68 people. That's awesome. We're getting much closer. Now let me answer the question that Richard had asked earlier. Okay, so it's a bit of a long question, but I figured I'd ask it here towards the end of the show after we've done 3 hours of prep, instead of interrupting then. So Richard asked, and Richard, if you are in chat, then I am answering your question now. Answering Q now. You can catch it in the VODs, of course. Isn't there like Mordor and other places? I don't know. I think it refers to other realms, maybe? Honestly, I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to that. The world of Middle-earth is just a modernization of the Old English Midgard, which is meant the inhabited lands of men between the seas. Oh, so it's a bit like Midgard campaign for D&D. Interesting. Google Midgard. Okay, cool. Is it a struggle to do different D&D campaigns every week? I mean, no, not really. People ask me, do I ever get bored of D&D? No, I only or like annoyed of D&D. I only ever get kind of like annoyed of a couple of people sometimes, and that's usually it's this is the dream for me. So, all right, let me read out Richard's question, and we'll try and get to it here. And if you do have questions, let's take the chance now to fire some at me. Do @Encounter Roleplay, and we'll turn this into a little bit of a Q&A session here, seeing as I have a little bit of energy left in me. So Richard asks, okay, so long story short, in my main campaign, 2 cults are in a loose Cold War. Vexners and Tiamats, okay? One wants everyone dead by war so that Vecna can gain more armies, and the other wants people alive to actually have followers for Tiamat. Vecna's cult is about to make assassination attempt towards a Wood Elf ambassador during festivities in the Human Empire's capital. Celebrations made each year about the peace between elves and humans around the war about 20 years ago. I know that I want the assassination to happen during the flag-throwing marches. I'm thinking of an idea to connect music, aka time factor, to the quest. I just don't know how destruction and assassination. I also know that I want both Cahill Clail, Elven Ranger, and Kruber, Emperor's bodyguard, to help in the endeavor. It's an interesting idea, connecting music with it. First of all, I'd consider finding a appropriately lengthed piece of music, or a piece of music which you can put on repeat quite easily. Something quite dramatic. And it needs to be it needs to rise, I think. It needs, if you have a piece of music so you got your piece of music, okay. Okay, he's done that. Okay, that's good. That's the first bit. You need that to rise right at the end so you know that something's about to end. I also know, I just don't know how to structure an assassination. Okay. So you want the party to be involved. It's the actual quest. Oh, I see. So you need a way for the party to be involved? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I guess one way to do it is maybe have the party on bodyguard detail, but that might be difficult because then you're just trying to make them fail a quest. One light drama, 2 building slowly, 3 heart pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Then switch between when we need to ramp things up. That's a good idea, actually, having the different pieces of music ready. That's awesome, Kalian. That's awesome. Maybe parties invite to a party. Yeah. The other thing is if they're not directly involved with the Emperor, or the Elf Ambassador, then have them there as a third party who happens to see it. Then my main thinking for this, or inspiration for this, have you played? And I think you almost certainly have, Richard. Witcher 2: Assassin of Kings. I always thought the assassination sequences in those were structured quite well, because there was first I said it last. I said, oh, that sucks. I'm sure you can find another. Here's a game. Find game. I always thought it was structured quite well, because in a way it was almost not about the assassination at first. They didn't know something was happening. They basically caused this giant distraction that would keep the party busy, and keep the rest of the guards busy, whilst the assassination was taking place. So that could be something that you think about. Maybe there's some other events that the group are using, so it's not an overt assassination. They send in troops first of all to fight them, to distract them, and then an assassination takes place afterwards. And there was another assassination sequence in the Assassin of Kings of King Foltest, attempted assassination, which I believe Geralt ends up finding some bodies. Oh, I don't remember how it begins now, but I believe he finds some bodies, and the kind of trail leads him back to the camp, and they get there just in time. So it could be that you have a battle, and then they kind of return to camp, but they find that the guards are dead. They rush back to the scene and find the guy either dead or in the midst of being killed, in which case you can try and let the party actually try and save him. I think that's how I do that, maybe. I did a couple of assassination sequences, nothing kind of... spoilers, yeah, spoilers. I won't tell you how it ends. Little kind of moments of assassinations, but I think that could be a way of doing it. I mean, that's a suggestion. I don't know if that's a fucking brilliant answer or anything, but structuring assassination, it depends whether or not you really want them to be involved in the case that they can save the guy, or do you definitely want the person to die? So 2 branching options there. Either way. Anyway, feel like? Let me go here. Yeah, my voice is starting to get hoarse. I'm pretty tired. I think I'm going to call it there before I exert myself too much further. But let's see who we're following that is live, or who are not following us live. Let's just fucking streaming some Dungeons and Dragons. Again, a huge shout out to Roll With It for the host arena. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys a question as well. Before I head off today, vodcasts are a thing now. So basically what you can do is you can stream a previous cast that you did. And I was thinking, I do have some interesting casts. Maybe not specifically games like the everyday stuff, but maybe the interesting interviews that we've done in the past with Shannon Germain, Ed Greenwood, Matthew Mercer, Chris Perkins, and a lot. Maybe we could have a quote-unquote kind of movie night where I do a vodcast and I sit and chat and watch it with you guys. Basically what vodcasts are is kind of watching a rebroadcast live with me. So I'm in a chat with you guys and talking with you, and you're kind of watching the show as well. If that's something that's interesting to you guys, maybe we could do that on a Friday night and just watch some of the cool interviews that we've had in the past and the cool guests that we've had on the show, rather than just rebroadcasting the same material. I've never really enjoyed doing... I never really enjoyed the idea of just doing rebroadcasts, of being like, I just did a show and now fucking watch it again, because that's what YouTube is for. And I've always wanted Twitch to be a kind of live platform, which it is. So okay, I take that as a yes, and we'll maybe have like a little movie night on a Friday or Saturday night. We get together and watch it. Make the assassination guarantee work, and then that the players witness the assault, let them capture the assassin. That's a cool way of doing it as well. Last question, which is better, being DM or player? Personally, for me, being a dungeon master is always the most fun. You're in the most fun seat in a house, I always think. So for me, that's where I find myself having the most fun usually. But there's some great times where I've been a player as well. Let's see, whom shall we go and host a Reno today, my friends? Let us see. Who's online? Some people streaming in Russian, some people streaming in German, which might not be too useful for some. Actually, it's a pretty quiet night on, really, isn't it? Pretty quiet night on today. Well, that's nice, isn't it? It's nice, a chill night on Twitch, I suppose. Let's see. Lots of people vodcasting. Who do we like? Oh, no one. No, I'm kidding. And how do you get the ideas of monster appearance and NPCs? Do I sketch them? No, I don't sketch them. I tend to just think of them or steal things that I have done in the past. How about live interviews? You basically ask questions which are written by chat. That could be interesting as well. I mean, there's something that we do Q&As in all of the interviews as well. We do Q&As. So, for instance, when Chris Perkins and Matthew Mercer was on, you guys did ask questions, and I asked them for you guys to the person. I take that as a yes for the interviews. Let's see, maybe not D&D. Maybe we'll go watch some video games tonight, guys. What should we watch? Let's go watch our man Hitch. Hitch is a nice guy. Hitch is like an uncle or something. He plays Dungeons and Dragons as well. He's currently streaming Silent Hill 2, but he's a really nice guy. He plays a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, even though he's not streaming it right now. You should follow him and see what is up. Does it have to be mandatory on D&D board, or can you customize it? Always customize. Yeah, always customize. Never feel restrained by the board or exactly what's written in the game. It's very much meant for manipulation. One last plug before I head off, and tomorrow I'll be on for the full 6 hours. It will, no matter what the heat is, the show will go on. One last plug, sign up for the Kickstarter. 12 people on our team are working hard to make this project become a reality. So if you haven't signed up to the Thunderclap yet, please do so. We currently have 68 supporters, and I would love to see 69 supporters. And if you signed in with Twitter, sign up with Tumblr and Facebook as well, and it counts as extra people. All right, guys, you go and enjoy Hitch. I will enjoy you. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, try not to roll too many net ones. I want to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody.